Hey everybody, it's Lee. This is Let Us Say It For You.
This is Big Mike.
In the building. How are you folks doing tonight? So, I have a bit of a headache at this current moment.
Really?
I think it's because of the 2 days of drinking. And then I'm still slightly ill.
Dang.
And so, I want to blow my nose every 20 minutes and it just kind of messes me up. So,
it's getting crunchy.
I'm going to work on. Oh, you're here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks great.
Thanks.
I don't see the blue from here, but I guess it's the lighting.
It's a tip.
Yeah.
Tip.
The tip.
I didn't see the purple because the blue was in the way. So it's the lighting. But, so I had a moment. I'm gonna get personal with the viewers.
We're all friends here.
Listen, so I do have a dance class called Arch and Point, and sensuality and being comfortable with yourself is something that I definitely always encourage every woman to try to tap into, but also to be realistic with yourself. If there's something about you that you don't like, then you always have the opportunity to change it. Some people get lipo. Some people wear waist trainers. Some people work out. Some people inject their lips. Whatever you got to do to make you feel better.
Feel how you want.
The natural way I would like you to go with, but it's not my body. But
it's not my body.
I was looking for something to wear for one of my best friend's graduation party, which was amazing. We talked about it last episode. Very lit. Oh, Leo is her boyfriend. He was on the ones and twos when it came to the drink. Jeez, he did such a great job. His signature drinks are litty. I forgot what restaurant he works at. It's in Pompano Beach, though.
I never knew the name, but it's so nice.
I think it's Bow House. That makes me feel like that's what it is. I think it's Bow House.
It's very nice.
On the beach in Pompano, whatever. But yeah, so I'm looking for something to wear. I'm like, okay, cool. I want a royal blue because I want to match my hair. Over the weekend, my hair was teal and blue, and very lovely hair paint wax. Shout out to you. I wanted to match my hair, so I'm like, royal blue. Couldn't find anything I liked in royal blue. I was looking for a long, silky, deep V. It was very specific, and I couldn't find it. And that's probably why it was so specific.
That's probably why.
Should have made it myself. Anyways, but yeah, I'm trying on all these clothes. You know what I'm saying? Like pretty fabrics and whatever. After I got over it not being royal blue, I went to something else. Y'all, I am not a medium no more. I was like, what? Like literally, like I've been a medium like all my life, basically. I was super skinny when I was 14 and under. I mean, Jesus, I had no mass, no fat, no nowhere, which I guess people wouldn't even complain about, but I hated being skinny. I hated it. I have meat on my body, and I'm really appreciative of that. But now I'm a large, and shout out to the larges, because you still look good in what you wear. But if that's not what you used to, that's not what you used to. I'm like, I don't want to be a large. I want to be a medium. M for Micah. Okay?
Yeah.
M for Micah. M for Micah, M for medium. Like, that's what I want to be.
Leah. Okay. Well, when I get there,
boom,
I'm going to just let it ride then.
Yeah, let it ride. And so I think it was the idea of not being able to fit in what I used to fit in. I think that's what ate me up. And so what Leah was just talking about, having a headache because of our drinking. So what I'm going to do, because we went ham this weekend. We did. I'm not drinking for the rest of August, and I'm working out every day. So these are the things that some people like beat themselves up because you feel like you can't fix it. This is an easy fix. I can't eat what I want to eat whenever I want to eat it, because if I have a goal, then I have to do things towards my goal.
You gotta plan ahead.
So discipline is hard. Like, thank God my period went off, because that's when I be wanting donuts and stupid shit. So I'm in the clear, it's off. So now I can just be clean and just whatever. So what I would say to everybody or anybody who's feeling maybe insecure about the way that they're looking or feeling about themselves, like, minor things can be done for you to feel better about yourself. And it can either be going back to the size you used to be, or it can be not drinking as much, or it can be not eating as much fries. Fries are my favorite food. It's going to be very hard for me not to eat fries until September. But it's a challenge.
How hard is it though? Because I like fries, but I'm not out. I don't like leaving my house to buy stuff. So you already know,
But that's
you see what I'm saying?
But
so while they're my favorite, it's not like they're in my face all the time.
But I'm an outie.
Yeah, I don't have to.
I'm an outie. Like, I'm active. Like, I have to be. I like being out. Like, I like being out. I like going places. I like having stuff to do outside of the house. You know what I'm saying? So that's where we kind of differ when it comes to, you know what I'm saying, the way that we operate. But if I want fries, I go get them.
I can understand.
And you've been talking about this taco. I would want to get it because I want that taco. You know
I want to, but I'm just trying to do the episode. But like, I really could use a quesadilla.
I feel you. I had one last night.
I love quesadillas.
See, and I've been absolutely ridiculous. This weekend, I probably had every fast food chain except McDonald's because that's like death in a bag. But other than that, like, whenever you notice something that doesn't make you feel good, you always have the option to change it. You just have to actually be disciplined to actually do it. So we going hard tonight with the Merlargo. How you say it?
I don't know, but this bottle is gigantic.
It's tequila. It's beautiful. I love tequila. Tequila is low calorie, by the way.
Big bottle.
It is low calorie though.
Yeah.
But this juice and this Sprite ain't. So, bam, right there.
So that's how we messed it up.
But it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. My dietary changes have to come in place because I've just planned to be exceptionally fine in my carnival costume. I don't think I'm playing Miami Carnival this year. I know, it's so sad. There's a slim chance I might, but my daughter's playing Kitty Carnival, so I'm excited for that. And then I'm just trying to prepare myself for Jamaica Carnival next year. Which is gonna be the time.
Which you have so much time to be dumb fine. You're already fine, but you have time to be.
I want to be
dumb fine.
Like, I'm normal fine
by April.
I want to be dumb fine by April. So that's the plan. We'll work on it.
Definitely doable.
Definitely doable. So wish us luck, guys.
Please.
Thank you.
I ain't posting no transformation pictures. I'm just gonna tell you I'm in the medium now. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not doing that.
Okay. So this episode, something that I wanted to talk about are unfortunate truths, right? And so these are, this could be a category, a variety of things. There's so many things that are double standards. Some double standards are unfortunate truths, and it kind of just is what it is. And I understand the double standard thing. Like, an unfortunate truth, just to jump right into it, is the fact that when guys have sex with like 17 women,
they're not
he's the man. But when a woman does it, you're a hoe. And it's like, unfortunately, it is kind of true. Like, I'm sorry, I agree. I feel like it sucks. And it isn't fair because we should be able to do, but that's the point. Men don't care when we call them hoes. I don't know many men that are offended by that, but women are offended by it. So if you do want to do what he does, then you need to be just as okay. Nonchalant about whatever may come with it. But the unfortunate truth is, you will be classified as a hussy, as a promiscuous woman,
And then I have to say as well. All of these unfortunate truths are, it is what it is and not what it should be. So you may be harping on the fact that these things should be fair, but let it go because they're really not. Like, I hate when people try to battle me and say society has made us feel this way. Yes, it has. And society has lasted well over everyone, especially in this room. Society is a thing. You know what I'm saying? The social norms are a thing. Traditional norms are a thing. So although you don't want them to be the thing, it is what it is. So think about that when we're talking about our unfortunate truths. We like going back and forth. We like hearing other people's opinions. Like, we just had a very good conversation over this weekend, and it went well.
There's some unfortunate truths in that.
There were a lot of unfortunate truths in that, and I think we both did really well. Shout out to you, Leah.
Thank you. I told your mom yesterday. Micah told me I did so good at not catching an attitude and cursing at this man.
Yeah, and there were some cursable moments.
Yeah.
But
there were.
When people, expect certain rises out of you and they just say things to say, they may not truly believe it. Those are the people you don't give your energy to, because you don't really have a stance in this. You just are trying to do something to piss me off. It's not gonna work.
It's not gonna work.
So go,
homie. Well, yeah. So another unfortunate truth I guess I could think about is, let's just say black women. So we'll have a black woman 150 pounds, a white woman 150 pounds, or an Asian woman. Honestly, a black woman versus anybody else.
Yeah,
they're
definitely.
the same weight, same height, same body build. She has on booty shorts, and the other woman has on booty shorts. We, for whatever reason, look like
Skanks
back
whores.
And hussies automatically from wearing the same shorts
that
this other woman will wear. Now, to be fair, in many cases, our asses are bigger.
Yeah.
Right? But I know quite a few black women that do not have big asses. And just because they have it on, it's just a negative look. It's
provocative.
Yeah.
It's provocative.
You know, this black woman, she looks ridiculous in these shorts. And you'll see. And my mom used to complain about that all the time. Every time we go out, we'd see like, if there were white girls, and they're probably just teenagers or whatever, and they'd have on little ass shorts.
Like Hollister shorts.
Yes, Hollister shorts are ridiculous. Like I couldn't fit a thigh in Hollister. Now,
oh my god.
Gosh! But even back then, my ass was hanging out. The ass that I had then, and I'm just like, this is so uncomfortable. How do people wear this? But my mom would always complain about that, and I let it would have been a black girl, and they would have let her have it. And I was like, yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it's true.
Yeah, and another thing about that, you know, the clothes that we wear, where black women are over sexualized in general, right? So you throw on some shorts, I'm even more seductive. Like I'm doing this on purpose. Like this is something that I'm begging to get, the attention I'm begging to have. But you've over sexualized me since I got off the boat. You made everything about my body since I got off the boat. So of course, you know, it wouldn't change, but it does suck. Like even out, and I thought to myself, I'm at 7-Eleven on the beach. I think I'm allowed to wear a bathing suit top and shorts. I'm on the beach. Like, everything's on the beach. Everybody's pretty much bathing suit or trunks and slides. But I still get looks when I look like everybody else, like you said. Like, I walked in, but I'm on the beach, though. So that kind of should make everybody a little lax.
Suffice,
right?
Whatever.
But no, like, I get looks. And I don't even have the biggest butt. I honestly don't. I'm tall. I got legs. But other than that, like, my butt don't hang out of stuff. So the fact that I had on shorts and a bathing suit top like everybody else in this 7-Eleven, everybody was staring at me though. And my natural hair was out, and that could be it. It could be me thinking that because I have on this, I'm being over sexualized because
you're picturing it
of my life and me being a black woman in America. Whatever, I get deep sometimes, but other than that, why are y'all looking at me? You know what I'm saying? Like, we got on the same thing. So I think it's because we have a history of being over-sexualized. And that is an unfortunate truth.
Yeah.
We have a history, black women, and black men for that matter, for being over-sexualized.
So what do we do to combat that then? Because if we're overly sexualized, automatically that means
you can't get away from it.
Right. So that means then we got to just deal with the fact that we're looked at in a worse way because we wore the same shorts that somebody else would wear, you know.
Find a way to get through that moment and talk through it with yourself and recognize that moment and try to move forward, because we can't change what has already been written, to be honest. You can just deal with it differently.
So then along the lines of that, I would say something that I think is an unfortunate truth. We've touched on this a few times in other podcasts, but therapy. I think an unfortunate truth is a lot of black people need therapy. And they're so against it. I'm not crazy, or whatever it is they would say in response to it.
Right.
Therapy can help.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? It can help. And an unfortunate truth behind that is, even when it was episode 10, I believe, where these women, these black mothers had all, like we mentioned a few stories of just really terrible things happening to their kids. And it was just like, you can't be sane.
You're sick
doing shit like that. You get what I'm saying? And then because it's not something that's pushed so much in the black family, because my family, I'm closer to my mom's side of the family, which is Jamaican, so I know they don't fucking think about therapy at all. Like, I can promise you that, because that's not even something I think is readily available in Jamaica to just have like that. But there's so many instances where this probably could have been solved if they at least understood themselves better. And I understand some people feel like, I don't want to, maybe they'll have to be put on some type of medication. The moment you go to therapy, then they send you to a psychiatrist if it's even worse, and then they realize you're bipolar or you got some condition or something, and then medication is what's suggested, and a lot of people don't want to go down that route. So I can see how it all escalates, but to me those are extreme instances.
Yeah,
there may be normal instances where you just go sit down and talk to somebody, and they help you siphon through what it is you're feeling or what you're talking about.
And that's definitely necessary. And we've only done that because, I gotta go back to slavery. A lot of these things are this is post-traumatic slave syndrome, and you know, any person of color you were just dropped off earlier. That's why you didn't make it to a certain place. They just dropped you off in a different place and whatever. But for the most part, talking about things got you killed, right? Talking about things got you caught up. Talking about things got you sold out. Yeah, so you were ridiculous. So I can see how talking could be a thing that is a sacred. Oh, keep it in the family, but keeping it in the family, y'all ain't talking about it in the family. So you don't want nobody to know your business, but you ain't even telling your business to your people. So like, even if you don't go to therapy, which we both think that you should do, even if you think you don't have a problem,
just try. Yeah,
you never know what can come out of it.
Well, no, I do, but
as I'm saying, it may not be a suicidal problem. It may not be a depression problem. Yeah. It could be, why don't I get along with guys who look like this?
There you go.
Why don't I relate to women who act like this? Like, there is a reason for everything, and we both believe that. Yeah. So that is an unpopular opinion.
So I think that's the unfortunate truth. Excuse me. That
unpopular opinion. Unfortunate truth.
Unfortunate truth. Yes. That and a popular opinion.
Boom.
Too.
Yeah.
They can be both. That therapy can help, and people gotta just. I don't know how we can get rid of the stigma around therapy. More especially for black people, I think. Especially for black people. But if you're listening to this podcast, we'll constantly push for it. Mike has done therapy before, and I still haven't, but I'm going to look into figuring it out. A couple of our other friends have done therapy, and they've only had positive things to say about it. But even in one of Mike's classes, one of her Arch and Point classes, we brought up therapy, and someone said they had like 4 therapists. Like, it's like, don't just get one therapist and it doesn't work out and then just write them all off. And I don't think that's something that's ever discussed. The simple fact that you may get a therapist that just doesn't, you guys don't mesh. And
you may not mesh because they don't culturally get you.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of therapists out there that are other, because black people don't do therapy, so black people may not study to be a psychiatrist or a therapist, because there are 2 different things. Psychiatrists can offer you medicine. Therapists don't. So I think the misconception behind therapy is you think you crazy. That's what a psychiatrist says you are. Right. A psychiatrist diagnoses you with things. A therapist listens and talks you through things. That's the difference between a psychiatrist and a therapist. For all those thinking that you going to the person because they think you crazy, you talking about the wrong one. So get the facts together. Therapy ain't no drugs involved, and they gonna recommend nothing that you take. Psychiatrists are heavily, twisted up with the hospitals and the doctors, which also tacks on to the conspiracy theories of why they exist. But anyway, that's another episode.
I love conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
So let's think. What's another?
Hair color. Boom. Another unfortunate truth is that black women can put, and me and Leah both have color in our hair. Mine is a little bit outrageous.
I was baby blue or something like that.
She was gray before. She's been green before. She's tried most of the colors Hair Paint Wax has. But the moment we put color in our hair, we are uncouth. We are ghetto. We are classless. Like, I mean, the list goes on of what we are, right? But the moment other does it, it's a fashion statement. Clearly a fashion statement. But not only are you putting in color, you're manipulating your hair the way black women would manipulate straight hair.
This even escalates more with what you said. The extended version of that is the whole issue they had with, but we talked about this a couple weeks ago, I think, where like, are we offended when like white women get cornrows and stuff like that, and like Kim Kardashian and company did it, and it was like, Kim is bringing back a wave. No, you're not bringing back shit. Little girls get this done to their hair all the time. My sister has cornrows all the time. So it's like, for whatever reason, when it's on us, we are unkept and ghetto and et cetera, but when it's on anyone else, it's style or it's vintage or whatever the fuck they call it.
And that's what society has deemed us as. And
that's why it's an unfortunate truth. And an unfortunate
truth is that most things black people do will always have a negative backlash to it. That is an unfortunate truth that we cannot get away from. So you just talked about how do we get through that. Solutions. Find a way to cope. Because this is our reality. We're in America. This is our reality. This is what we were birthed on. And we try not to get heavy, but unfortunately, these unfortunate truths are a little.
They're all
we can't really help it.
We're talking about dating.
We tried. We're gonna throw in some dating ones next.
Right. We'll go back lighter.
But yeah, personally, these are some things that we just have to work through with each other through conversation. Mm-hmm. You just tell somebody the experience you had when you went to the corner store. Girl, this lady looked at me up and down, and I felt so embarrassed. And they make you feel embarrassed. They make you feel like you're doing something wrong when you're rocking your latest whatever. I've seen beautiful colors that I would never wear to a corporate office. But I have blue and purple in my hair right now because I work for myself. I have the luxury to do that.
And I do work in a corporate office, but we have a very relaxed culture. So right. I've been there with all these colors. Excuse me. For me, it's even different because I'm the only black woman in my office. So I have to go through every time I get a new hairstyle. Oh my gosh, we have a new employee, huh? And it's just like I'm not offended. I just truly understand that it's just shocking to them.
New to
I'm
them.
told often, it's like, oh my gosh, how do you do all these things to your hair? And it was I had more variety, I would say, when I was still getting relaxers and stuff like that. Now that I'm natural, I'm wash and go most of the time, but
I worked at Best Buy and Tally. Those blacks. So versatile.
Blacks.
I worked at Best Buy, and I let her off because she was Brazilian. She doesn't understand our culture completely. And she still had a heavy accent, so I'm going to say she wasn't here too long either. So cut her even more slack. But I came in with some twists, and she was like, oh, my God, Micah, I love this. Oh, yeah. You look so ethnic. I'm like, bro, I'm dead on you. So like I said, like I took it easy on her because she is Brazilian. But after she said what she said, I said that was a prejudiced comment. Did you know that? She was like, really? I'm like, yeah. To imply that ethnic is braids, it's kind of prejudice, although it's true. So an unfortunate truth is, most of the stereotypes that black women have are actually true.
That's an unpopular opinion, but it's popular opinion. Most of the stuff they say about us.
Most of the things they say, we don't go swimming because we don't want to ruin hairstyles.
Yeah, and what I say, like I understand like the angry black woman narrative, and it's kind of just like, I wouldn't say it's an angry black woman narrative, but as a black woman, I do have this I wish a bitch would type of attitude to me. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like I can see how that does come off a bit aggressive.
Yeah.
But it is. And it's like I'm for people who don't get the lingo, I don't literally wish anything. But at the same time, it's just like.
Yeah.
And I feed off that. Like I'm one of those people that play into the fact that when they see a black woman, they probably do think we're angry and they're less likely to fuck with us. And I kind of do feed into that. Like, I use it to my advantage. Like, we know what we're going to say and not say to Lil. Yes, you do. Because you will get cussed out. So, I use it to my advantage. I mean, these are the lemons that I've been given. So.
Right.
And I don't even like lemonade, but I'm going to make some shit with it.
Yeah.
That's funny, but it's true. I don't go swimming often because I can't swim. But guess what? That is another stereotype that's true. I can't swim.
Most of them are.
Yeah.
I mean, that is an unfortunate truth. Most of the things that they stereotype us with are indeed true, but should not be.
The basis. It shouldn't be
it shouldn't be used as truth. You should want to figure out if this particular black person can swim, because I'm an Olympian, if you let me tell it. Yeah. I can swim hella laps, dive, save lives. I don't know many black people who are lifeguards, and that's okay. But I am a black woman that was a lifeguard. Right. So don't take it as, oh yeah, this is my cheat sheet to know black people, because I know some black people who don't particularly like chicken. They rather steak, and that's okay.
And to just add another check on the stereotype meter, I do enjoy watermelon a lot.
I like watermelon flavor as well,
and I do like fried chicken a lot. So
me too.
Whatever.
Shout out to you, Popeyes.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh god, I can't have any of that. Oh my god. I'm gonna have it tonight. I'm just playing.
Right. Just talk about all that you can't.
I'm just gonna do everything I can't do.
All right. Here's an unfortunate truth for black people. when you date someone outside your race, unfortunately, you're going to get looked at funny. Boom. It's an unfortunate truth. It's no matter what it is. I'm sure it could be for love. It could. I would assume it's for love. Let's just say it is for love. While it is for that,
you will be judged.
The unfortunate truth is you're going to be judged. Yes, you're going to be looked at like, why is he with her? Why is she with him?
Yeah.
And it's one of those things. I don't know. I've seen it in. I know interracial couples personally. So with them, it doesn't bother me at all. But I think I'm being unfair only because I know them. Had I not known them and I saw it, I'm like, who would you look at this? You know, and it wouldn't be crazy. Like I wouldn't give you the stank eye, but I do get this weird,
instantly judged.
Yeah,
it would be like, a why.
Yeah, yes,
it would be a definite why.
I wonder what happened there.
Right.
Like I wonder what made that happen. We went to Mila's wedding. Shout out to Mila. And one of I think he was either one of the groomsmen, right? And he made a comment to the effect of like, oh, like literally on some, you guys are really pretty for black girls. Like I don't usually date black girls, but you guys are just, and he's black as fuck. And that was so annoying to me because I was like, this poor lost asshole, poor guy, you know? And I don't get it.
And so the fact that he thought that was a compliment,
right?
But honestly, it was a compliment. Because how many black women feel that way about themselves too? Like we talk about all these different shades and we got this colorism thing going on. We do agree to a certain extent that there are a type of black woman that's not as attractive. Like we all have our judgments there. You know what I'm saying? So if he said that to the right one, she would have been, oh my God, thank you so, oh, for real? Because she would have ate that shit completely up because she does not know herself. But it's okay. Those are that is an unfortunate truth as well about us that the unfortunate truth is you rather be lighter than darker. That could be an unpopular opinion, huh?
It's both, I think, because with me, I'm like 17 different colors, right? And I hate that, like I really do. And I literally still have a tan line from when I went to Jamaica for Carnival this year. That was April. Like my tans just, they don't leave. I don't get it. So the only way to even out and be one tone would be for me to lighten my skin in order to even them all out, because I got darker parts and lighter parts. So you'd have to lighten these parts or somehow get under here, like under my arm tan to match it. My stomach, my boobs are light. Like I got a whole bunch of stuff going on. So it isn't I don't want to be lighter. I just want to be even. And everyone that does get even, they have to go lighter. That's just how that goes. So that's one of those unfortunate truths.
True.
Okay, well, you said what's the day? Today was the 13th.
So
let's talk about the discussion we had this weekend first. Let's do that.
Okay.
So we went to a barbecue this Friday, and we said that we had a really good conversation with this guy. And it was going well because like we said, we enjoy good conversation with people who can, carry a conversation. We like to talk, obviously. That's why we have a podcast. So in the midst of the conversation, kids came up, and we talked about what we'd like. Did you talk to your kid about sex yet? That was like episode 10. I think we just talked about it. So we just asked him because he has a son. He has a 12-year-old, and we talked about we asked him what his preference was, or what do you think
he has a dating preference.
And so he said the gentleman said that he knows that his son is gonna like white women, Latin women. He's not gonna like black women. So I was just like, okay. And I think Micah asked him, why? Or did you ask him what he liked? And he was like, I just know that he's going to like this and that. And Micah's like, okay, did you ask him? No, because that's the point. I get that you just know because you know your kid.
I feel you, but no.
But did you ask him why his preference would be something else other than that? So he, we said he deflected.
He did.
A lot and avoided it still. So I just said it. I was okay, well, I'm just going to say this. You should encourage him to date a black woman. You should encourage him to like that. And I was like, I'm just throwing it out there. He's black. She'll understand him. She's the best thing for him. I do truly believe that. I believe that a black woman is the best thing for a black man.
And so, an unpopular opinion and the
unfortunate truth
is that people are naturally homogenous. Homogenous means dating within your own ethnicity. Right. That's all it means.
Jewish people, they be together.
That's what I'm saying. All of them. And easily. Honestly, y'all, it's nothing wrong with that. And it's not discriminatory. It's not prejudice. It's nothing. It's just the truth. Yeah. It's easier for families to blend when they are the same. Yeah. That's all it is. Like, It is. When it comes to religion, when it comes to culture, like all of that stuff blends in. So
on the live, someone said that love is love, no color, and we agree. What we told him was that I said you should encourage him to date a black woman, because I do, again, believe that a black woman is the best thing for him. He's a future black man. Yeah. So that's fine. But if he ends up, because the guy went on to then, he seemed to get a little defensive. And what I always say is, when you get defensive about something, it's because you probably feel like it's true. I don't know where his defense necessarily came from, but he said to Micah, like, you're going to end up with a white man. Micah was like, no, I'm with a black man right now. And I said, I'm not opposed to dating a white man now, but at the same time, I understand how pro-black I am. I feel like it'd be hard for him. I don't know what he's going to do. And I said, I'm going to encourage my daughter to date a black man and tell her all the, the joys and wonders that come. Her father's a black man. She's a daddy's girl. She's very close to him. Right. So I'm going to encourage her to do that. But if she does end up with a white man, it's not the end of the world. She just ends up with a white man, and that's fine.
And the unfortunate truth there is, I don't care who feels about whatever, that I want my black men to be with their black women. Right. To be completely honest, and for the person who said love is love, and for people who say that love is love,
it is. We get it.
We are not saying that it's not. But what we are saying is, for our people, and I'm speaking on behalf of myself. I can't speak on behalf of my people. But what I think is best for my people in this situation is that we stay together as much as possible, because we're so lost in any other arena.
Right.
We're always trying to find accommodation to fit into this culture, to this standard, but we need to make our own standards. And until we're comfortable, I'm not comfortable with us dating outside of that. We need to figure out what's best for us first.
Right.
We need to go back to the basics, and I'm completely fine, because he definitely said, he was like, "Oh, you're you're one of those," and I'm like, "Damn right, I'm pro-black to the bone."
He said a lot of things that jumped out, and one of my exact phrases, what thing I said to him was that you got the wrong two. Like, sitting here, like, we're not gonna
no folding.
Yeah, we're not gonna change our opinion. Yeah. And again, an opinion is an opinion.
Right.
He's gonna do, because I said to him, I said, you can tell your son that he's gonna still do whatever he wants to do.
Right.
But there's nothing wrong with suggesting that that's the case. I said, my mom is Jamaican. My mom literally tells me exactly what the fuck is on her mind all the time. Always. And I'm pretty sure she always will. It doesn't change the fact that I'm going to do what I want to do anyway. But I know what my mom's opinion is. Thanks, Mom. Appreciate it. And I use all the things around me to come to a conclusion for myself. Right. So for me, I felt like he was somehow bothered by us suggesting you should. But then my thing is, like, does he like black women? Like, do you like black women? Is it something that
But he also said he doesn't think he's going to like black women because of his mom. And she's invasive.
Right. So he said this about his son. He's saying that he doesn't think his son's going to like black women because of the way his son's mother is.
Exactly.
She's very invasive. And I looked at him like,
I said, you're rubbing, you're projecting.
A lot. Yeah,
so
you're putting your views on the kid.
Assuming your child is not going to like what his mom is because his mom is Aggie. Like, let's just be real. She's just aggravating. I mean, whose mom isn't?
Aggie when they 12.
Whose mom isn't aggravating at 12? Like, you trying to figure things out. You think you're your own person and you're really not. Like, you still got to ask somebody to go somewhere. Like, everybody's aggravated at 12. So the fact that he even said that is just like, yo, she's super invasive and she's always in his business and blah, blah, blah. And he didn't give.
He 12. He ain't got no business.
He didn't. And you're 12. Thank you, Mom. Some things you're just not going to have a say on, and you're going to have to deal with that until you get 18 and out of my house. That's just the way black culture is. I can't speak for any other culture, but that's what I've been told since the womb.
That's how my mom was.
That's what I've been told.
My mom, literally, we're in my house now, and I still do what my mom would say. It's hot as hell in my house all the time because she never wants the AC on. My mom is 16 in Jamaica still. So it's like, you know what, Mom, fine. Whatever. It's just kind of how it is when your mom's around. And our thing to him was, I mean, it's just a suggestion. Yeah. We would just encourage you to encourage him. We think black women are the best for him. Right. As a black man who's going to understand him better in all the future endeavors. So then he goes on to say, just because they're black doesn't mean that we're not saying that.
Exactly. Well, but people fail to realize, like I said, I give a disclaimer before. Just because I'm for black doesn't mean I'm against anything else. And I think people who actually are invested in understanding someone's plight won't get offended. If you understand my standpoint and why I'm saying what I'm saying, it will be more likely that you will get it.
But
what I'm saying?
Blows me is that I don't understand why when it's mentioned amongst black people, sometimes it's such a, well, why does it have to be that way? And color is color. I mean, no color, love is love, or whatever. And we mentioned so many, like in, I know someone who's Indian, and it's like in their culture, you just naturally marry another Indian person.
It's homogeneity.
They come in there
all day
with a white person. It's just like,
what's
are you happening
doing
here? And his family's gonna drag him for filth, et cetera, et cetera.
But that's
so why are we
yeah.
so against the idea
because
of staying with black people? We're not telling you have to. We're suggesting that you do.
That's what I said.
With my Indian friend, it's not a suggestion.
It's
a fact.
Must.
You will marry another Indian
Nigerian
woman.
As well. If we want to go there, they're black, but Nigerians don't play. But if you do date, he can't be a black man, and if he's not Nigerian, he can be a white man. Because that's more susceptible in their society because of status. So they're classes. They're not racist. They're classes. Right. Class is money. Class is status. Class is clout and what you have and what your family has. So they're going based off their tradition. When I marry into a family, I'm marrying into a fruitful family. Not some family that's been struggling for years trying to self-identify. Like, I understand. You know what I'm saying? Like, I completely get it. But at the same time, it's like, bro, do you really think that we're against everybody?
Right.
Like, and I think if you understood black people in general, and that's what I'm saying, understand where we came from. I think it's unfair for black people to always have to be under heavy scrutiny and these beaming lights to question. I think it's unfair, and I think it's not right. I have to struggle most of my life. Why don't you get that? Offer it. Why don't you just get that and understand I'm always angry, and I have a reason to be angry. Didn't Baldwin say that? To be a black man in America is to be in a constant state of rage.
But I'm always not live.
Constant state of rage. Yeah. Like, just hear where I'm coming from.
And that's something that because it's not understood, that's why so
they don't want to.
You got to think about it. Just think about an argument you're having. You're having an argument with somebody, and it's like, you don't understand me. I do understand. If you understood, we wouldn't still be having this argument. So it just kind of comes down to that. You don't understand what I'm saying. I do understand what you're saying, but we're still arguing, so you can't.
You can't.
Because if you do, this argument would be done.
You're not seeking to understand. You're seeking to be right. And that's the difference between a lot of debates. Don't seek to be right. Seek to understand so that we can have a
People
stance.
are
You know what I'm saying?
to reply instead of listening to understand.
Exactly. When you're talking, I'm waiting to basically cut whatever you just said, to undercut you, to make sure that I sound more what. No, that is not what a conversation is about. That's what it should be. It's not.
Yeah. It depends on what the conversation is. You know, but in any case, you should be listening to understand and then give some type of opinion.
Write down the good thing is when you're talking to anybody, write it down. Like, you can put it in your notes or whatever and find a way to listen until they're done. And if you hear something else, jot it down. Move forward. There's nothing wrong with actively listening. I think that's an active listener. I love you. Just go ahead. So, innocent bystander in the back trying to eat at school. We're just gonna ride through it. So, another unfortunate truth is the number 13.
Oh my gosh!
Everyone knows that
unlucky.
The number 13 is unlucky. Friday the 13th. I'm just gonna wait till you pour it.
We're gonna just pause. Go ahead.
Yeah. She chips. Just go ahead and pour. Like you. Okay. Perfect example.
It's just
you in church, and your mama passed you a piece of candy, right? And everybody praying, and you want to eat it so bad. It's like this. Everybody. Oh, boom! You got to sneeze, and everybody praying. They gonna hear you. You got to cough. You got to clear your throat. This is what's happening right now. But anyways, 13 is unlucky number. Friday the 13th is stigmatized as being very negative. Guess what, y'all? The 13th Amendment freed the slaves. And an unfortunate truth is that not all slaves were free.
We had that conversation this week.
Because Juneteenth clearly states that the slaves in Garland, Texas were still enslaved. And they didn't find out until June 19th. So I find that very ironic that 13 is such an unlucky number. And it has so much to do with the freedom of the most financially forward system that America's ever had. Slavery was the best trade that they ever. It made them the most money.
Of course,
and it was human, and it was free, and everybody benefited. So, sorry that we had to get humane and give people rights.
So, what do you think about this? An unpopular opinion: the word nigga. I use it often. But it's one of those things where I've heard the argument from older people that were affected by it back then or whatever. And it's one of those things where I would never argue it with them.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, I definitely understand. But at the same time, I say it all the time.
Me too.
So it's like, I don't know what to do with that.
And Amanda Seales said something about that on her Snap and her Instagram. I don't know if y'all follow Amanda Seales. She is like the epitome of black culture and wokeism. I just made something up.
Yes,
I mean,
wokeism.
She is incredible. But she says a lot of things that are unpopular opinions and unfortunate truths. That's why I love listening to her. But she was basically saying, to use the word nigga, we basically transformed it, right? The Negro, the nigger, all of those things, the ER. And we just saw a video the other day, and it was, I think she said the R, but instead of nigga, she said nigger. But for the most part, it's because it derives from such a negative and a traumatic,
terrible time,
situation. But what do black people constantly do? We take traumatic situations. Right. Exactly. We have lemons and we make lemonade. That's what happened with what? Pig feet. That's what happened with chitlins. Yeah. So if you think about all this slop that they gave us, we figured out a way to cook it and make it clean and make it edible so that we're not eating shit, like, for lack of a better term. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So time and time again, we completely change the narrative of what we want to be recognized as. And my thing is, generationally, I will never say nigga in front of an old person.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Won't.
Because it'll come.
I respect
like,
you.
Oh, this nigga trying me to do that, but we would never.
Do that.
Miss Shirley like that.
I would never say that in front of Miss May or Miss Shirley.
And
I don't say it in front of my dad because my dad is the type of person cringe. He hates it.
Yeah.
And my mom, not so much, but I don't say a lot of things in front of my mom because traditionally she's more old school. Right. But for the most part, I think it's just a respect, and I think we need to start adhering to some type of respect rules. We can't just be unapologetically whatever with each other. Like with everybody else, be unapologetically black. But with the black community, we all had different phases and different stages of what it means to be in America.
Yes, phases and stages.
Yeah, you know, and racism and prejudice and injustice. Like, we've all endured a certain level. So don't say nigga in front of your granny. I feel like you can deal with that. When you leave the house, nigga, like, you can go ham.
But then, because remember, when we talk about the people in our generation now that are just lost like a motherfucker and whatever, you blame their grandparents. And so it's like, in some of their cases, maybe they don't even, maybe the whole nigga thing doesn't even
phase them.
Yeah, like it doesn't even phase them. True. So it's like they can just throw nigga bombs out everywhere. True. Like for Jamaica, again, since I'm close to my Jamaica side of the family, they don't even use the word. Like, nigga's not really
it's American thing.
But because it's not their thing.
Yeah.
So they have their other terms that they'll call you for whatever. So, and then in the way that we use it, because we don't use it in the way that it was initially put upon us. We use it just in general, like, nigga, what's up, da, 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 or girl, this nigga tried me, or whatever.
Nigga is like, what's up?
Literally.
That's nigga.
So it's
one of those different ways.
So, and then the other thing was like, okay, well, when whites say it, or whoever else, and it's like, well, it's in songs. If you don't want them to say it, stop putting it in songs. I'm like,
nah, nigga, put some respect on our culture.
Nah, nigga. For
real. Put some respect on the culture. You didn't come from this culture. That's all it is. Respect it. Like, this happened in an episode in Grownish. Not sure if you guys watched this, but it was the episode about appropriation. They had an Indian friend who was hella in the black community. Like, he was trying to find himself. Like everywhere he went, he was whatever culture they were.
Oh my God.
Because he was trying to figure out who he was. So one of the people was like, bruh, do you notice that he actually does and says a lot of things that we do? Like, he does the wave cap challenge. He doesn't even have waves. Like, he goes to the extent of everything that we do, everything that we love, everything that we hold dear. He captures it as his own.
So he says nigga and...
He says nigga. He does a wave cap challenge on Wednesdays. Like, he rocks Giuseppe's and True Religion, and he goes to all the hip clubs. He knows all of Drake's music. Like, anything that is stereotypically black, he's doing it. And my thing is, respect my shit. And that's what the guy who was trying to get his other friend to understand. Bruh, I know that's your boy, but he appropriating like a motherfucker, bro. He's appropriating. Check this out. Why is he doing Wave Cap Wednesdays? He does not have waves.
He doesn't have waves.
Tell me why. You tell me why. So he'll just be pointing things out the whole episode, and his friends like, nah, yeah, that's just who he is.
Well, what is the Indian guy in his situation? What's your take on him? Like, again,
he's trying to fit in. That's all.
So trying to fit in along, because I mean, let's just say it. Black people are amazing.
We're cool.
We're so fucking cool.
I get it.
And they want to be this way. So is it that, like, I have such an admiration for blacks that I want to?
Yeah. I don't think it
and someone asked, where did he grow up? Like, in the story, where is he from?
He grew up in a privileged Indian family.
Oh gosh,
around Indian people.
Oh, okay.
But as you're growing and matriculating through college, what happens? You lose yourself or you find yourself.
Yeah, a lot of people find.
So I'm trying to find what I like. And every group that I'm with is super cool, so I'm just gonna adapt to whatever they do. Nigga, find yourself.
That'll
nigga.
get on my nerves. Yeah.
Like, that was, and it was hella annoying to the guy in the show. So another thing, I was a team leader for City Year, and one of my core members hit me up the other day and was like, Micah, your hair is amazing. I love it all the time. She said, is it culture appropriating if I want to wear a head wrap? I said, no, so she brown. You the brown people, so you good. She was like, oh my gosh. She was like, where can I get a wrap from? So I sent it to her. The Rap Life. Shout out to y'all. I have a rap. You have a rap from The Rap Life too?
Not from The Rap Life.
Oh, so The Rap Life gives like this whole history of like where raps came from and who can wear them, because contrary to popular belief, it's not even like a super black thing. It was, I think, an Egyptian Indian thing. I don't know. Turbans are even considered, head wraps. So she screenshotted I know if you're not black, you still want to wear one, so it's okay. And she sent it to me because that's on their website. She was like, oh, it's not. I was like, yeah, it's definitely not. But I can definitely see my Latin friend wearing her head wrap in public, and people like, why is she wearing a head wrap? Like, we are really
territorial with certain things.
You know what I'm saying?
But again, we know why, because
we have a reason to be.
Like, we have like Kim Kardashian to do something, and I don't even think she does it on some, I'm trying to be influential. Yeah, she thinks it's cool. She's just doing it because it's cute. Whatever the fuck she does, though, gets
so much clout.
It's world news. So that's what it kind of comes down to. It's like Kim for whatever. And I hate when they get cornrows because they look so fucking dumb. They look so dumb. Your hair is not made for shit like that. And first of all,
Kylie had a pink one on her head, no hang time. Like, it was sticking off her neck.
Why
I'm like,
did you get these little
struggle braids? Why would you do that? Because we don't even do that.
Yeah, we don't even like it.
And we do that when we put on wigs, sis.
Yes.
And for dudes who want hang time so bad, do the struggle thing. Sis, don't walk around with no hang time on purpose. You got too much money for that. Tell her to braid it down a little bit to your back. Like, come on, sis.
Okay, and then to stay on them, they're, I wouldn't say all, but except the oldest one, all the other ones have kids with black men. So
I'm fucking with them.
Yeah, all Kim kids black.
And so if you
Kylie baby black and Courtney,
if you are a drop
Chloe
black,
black.
You're
right,
black.
So they all have black kids.
Thank you for making black children.
Which would how is that a pass for them then to just be in it? Their
not
mothers
necessarily
are black children.
I've noticed that. I mean, Robert Kardashian, their father, had hella black influences in his life.
OJ was his best.
So I can definitely see how the black culture has influenced their family, but they're Armenian. Right. On top of that,
I thought they're Peruvian, but yes, I think so.
I think it's but they are not white, if you think about it in the grand scheme of things. Yes, by complexion, they are on the fair side. But historically, they're not European. So technically, they kind of got a pass. But I just appreciate the fact that they're not trying to be black in their ways, right? Like the culture, yes, they are assimilating to our culture in a sense.
A lot.
They wear our hairstyles, and like I said, even when white women rocked straight hair, the Farrah Fawcett thing, like that was like a thing. What was it, 80s, 70s? That was like a 70s, 80s thing where white women like plumped their hair up and like fanned it and flipped it a certain way. So you can possibly say that was coming back, but we made that popular. Like when black women started wearing straight hair, we was flipping our hair that way. I remember you was flipping your hair that way. White women don't rock straight hair the same way we rock straight hair because we're innovative, because we're creative. We're finding different things to do because we don't like flat. We don't like oily. We don't like greasy. We like big. Don't like oily and greasy. We like big. We like bold. We like aired out. We like glamour, and we've always been divas since day one.
Extra.
You know what I'm saying? We extra, and that's cool. Extra. So my thing is, they've been assimilating for the longest, and if they had a choice to love any man, they chose a black man, and that says a lot. The black man, you are valued,
black man,
among everyone.
You're so fine.
You are. But I also think that black men take that. Oh, here's a unfortunate truth. I think black men try to prove themselves so much that they basically lose who they are because they're always proving themselves. I think that is the truth, and I think that's something that they would not admit to. But I definitely feel that way.
There's a lot I can see them not admitting to.
Yeah, so you make excuses for the things you do, but that's the real reason. Because you're trying to be accepted. You're trying to conform. You're trying to be not as black. You're trying to be a man and not a boy. Like, it's just so many things I feel like black men go through. And the moment you recognize it, you can start breaking it.
And that exact line is the case for therapy. So many things. Right. True. There's so many things. And a way to help you realize it is therapy. Therapy can help you realize whatever this is that you want to change, and then you can make that necessary change. But I think that is what it comes down to. The moment you realize what's happening or what the problem is, that's like the first step. The first step is acknowledging. So first step is acknowledging that you have a fucking problem, and then you can go on to make the necessary changes. I've been in, like, I had said this to Micah on Friday when we were pulling up to the party, and I was like, Mike, I feel like I'm turning into that girl. Like, I feel like I'm turning into that girl where it's just like,
I would rather be alone.
I'm probably just gonna be alone. Like, that's just probably what it's gonna end up being, because
I don't want you to be like
I don't want to either, because I love love so much. I know. I love love so much, and I had all these visions. I almost had it when I was dating somebody recently where we went out of town together. I like to travel now. That's my thing. So him and my kid got along, so it was like, let's do this. But then that kind of went to shit, and so I was like, Mike, I'm becoming that girl. I'm just cue up the cats.
He's not in Florida, bro.
Cue up the cats. I'm gonna get him.
He's not in Florida.
Micah said she thinks my husband is in Texas.
I do.
And I can see that, because I do like a big burly man.
And Southern hospitality, you can't beat it.
And they're so well mannered.
Like my cousin, oh my gosh, like Texas men are very different from Florida men. Like,
we always with Tarsha. When we went to Georgia, we went to Georgia the other day for Atlanta, for Igloo. Everybody we saw was like, "Good evening, good morning, how you doing?" I was like, "Everyone's so well mannered." And that's what Tarsha said. And then I was like, "But we're like." No, super Southern.
We're not
at the end of Florida. So trash. It's this shit.
Now North.
Is there anywhere in Florida?
North Florida.
Oh,
South Florida is its own. We're our own culture.
We're an anomaly in a bad way.
Yes, like South Florida is on some other shit. Like we have so many other influences for other places. There's no way for us to be country.
We say it all the time. You go in a certain part of Miami, no English.
You in Cuba.
Yes, and like, you feel like you in a different country at this point.
Definitely. So I definitely feel that North Florida is more southern. I've talked to niggas from Palm Beach. Whoo. Wow.
That a good thing or a bad thing?
Port St. Lucie, country.
Oh.
Like there's nothing out there.
In Port St. Lucie? Oh,
yes.
yeah. It's
Ooh,
a lot
Jesus
of land.
Christ.
Yeah.
I mean, super like, yeah. No, like it's crazy. So Florida is very southern, but South Florida is not. So when you get to even past Naples, it's Brandon, Florida, St. Petersburg, they country. Like North Florida is country, and I've met a few people when I was at FAM from North Florida. I'm like, Polk County, Polk, like they country.
Is Duval country?
Duval is Jacksonville, definitely. I think niggas in Jacksonville is country. Personally, I've talked to a few, and yes, they are very southern.
They're scary when they
but no, I'm just saying, like, my cousins was like, women don't walk on this side of the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Like, I've never heard that until I was in Texas. And my boyfriend now does that. I'm like,
the guy was talking
you country, babe.
When we were in California, he used to get mad. He used to yank me to the side.
Yeah.
Because you're not supposed to walk. And
but
I thought that was sweet.
I never heard as much as a woman, as a man, like gender roles. It's very heavy in Texas, very conservative. Like, men do this, women do this. Like, that's kind of how Texas is type thing. So, even with the younger generations, we're more lax with things, but all my cousins yanked me to the other side and was like, you don't walk on this side of the road. You walk on this side, because if something happens, I get it first to protect beautiful. You. I was like, I heard that. Yeah, so like, and then even opening the door, like, that's off rip. That's not. And then when you open it, like, what you doing? Oh shit! And strangers are doing this in public.
Things like that are what's so confusing to me, because I understand that is a traditional whatever, but for some people it's not about necessarily traditional. That's just how they are, or they were raised that way, so that's what they have instilled in them. And then that's what I'm saying, where it's like, when we deal with the kind of people that we deal with now, like the things I see coming from the generation of men around me, from my generation, it's just ridiculous. Like, it's disappointing. I've literally said out of my mouth on multiple occasions, like, black men are really disappointing. Like, and it is, and no, it's not every single one, but the ones around me are
black
the ones
men
I'm seeing
in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, like, it's crazy.
Yeah,
because it's just the standard of, and I don't know who to blame in that case. Because I guess we could blame their parents for not raising them right, or their grandmas for not telling them this and that. But at the end of the day, the bottom line is, like, that's just how they are at this point. So then what the fuck do? You go, and it's not just knock them. There's a whole bunch of women out here that do some off the wall shit, and I'm just like, our generation is, I think we're really fucked up, y'all. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I feel like I'm living and loving in, like, the wrong generation. I feel like this can't be it for me, because
I feel that I felt that way about music. I feel like I connected more with 60s, 70s, and 80s music, and even 90s music. Now I can't connect. I don't feel anything. 90s. I don't feel anything, but I'm definitely old school, baby, all day. Like, I definitely should have been rocking with Earth, Wind, and Fire on some heavy shit. Like, that's just what I feel good to. I don't feel good listening to our music. I feel lit, but I don't feel emotionally good. But going back to what you said about being disappointed with the black men, and we have to say in Florida, I think,
and not all, but just a lot of them.
Yeah, a lot of them. I remember Cat Williams was like, the man you choosing ain't shit.
Yeah, it was like, it's not, no, all niggas ain't shit.
Right.
You find out what's wrong with your pussy.
But it's a little difficult when all of them start looking the same. So it's like, is it really me, or is it these niggas?
Yes, and in my case, I'm not fucking these people, so my pussy's not attracting anything. It's me.
But your vagina doesn't matter, because even if you don't give your vagina to somebody, their energy is still being transferred in some way. So you don't even got to be smashing these niggas. It's the niggas that you're coming encounter with that just so happen to be piss poor.
Oh, and Micah gave a good in this conversation we had this weekend, she gave that, because she gave them that summary of what you were attracting and how you were able to change that, I guess, because Willie's not like that.
Yeah, so like, when you recognize the characteristics in a person you're attracting, then you ask yourself, what is it about me that's attracting that person? Well, I'm passionate. I'm caring. I want to see everybody win. I feel really bad for people when they're low. Right. Like, I don't want to see anybody wallow in their sorrow. Like, I cannot stand to be around unhappy people.
Yes,
like
that so kills me.
All of those things, like, you try to fix.
Right.
Right. You try to combat what they're dealing with on your own. But if that person doesn't want it, they don't want it. But if they want you to do all the work, you also need to know that that's not your job, right? So I think it's really important to recognize the things about yourself while we're pointing the finger at these niggas or these men, for lack of a better word. How to do whatever. I don't give a fuck, nigga. How to do better about, you know, choosing partners and people to just share your space with, because you may not be having sex with them, and that's cool. And you may not even date them, but just exchanging conversation, I think it should be a sound person, like Agreed. Just in general.
That was an issue that, not an issue, but something that was really, me and Micah, we talked about this on one of the episodes, I think, but just not wanting to date people that have tried to date our friends. And there's so many of them. Like, I don't understand if these guys feel like we don't talk or we don't share. It's worked before. I understood. But it doesn't change the fact that it's like, what did you really think was going to happen here? But, you know? Yeah. And then this is where it's not all about the men, and I'm not just going to pin it on them. It's the women, the things that we kind of let slide. And whatever, it's like, if enough of us just say no, either way, on either side, women or men, if enough people say, this is disrespectful and this is not going to be, you know, tolerated. I'm not saying that somebody around won't deal with it. Yeah. But it's like, this is the standard of the way we let people treat us. You know what I mean? Yeah. The things that we accept and tolerate. Or, if anything, I'm talking about the grimy shit you do. Like, okay, Micah talking to somebody, and then he tries to talk to me, so I'm going to go ahead and fuck him anyway. I'm just not going to say anything to Micah. All I did was give him ammo to feel like he can use this despicable ass behavior with the other group of friends that he sees. And it's like, you got us all just looking weak as fuck out here. Like, it's just a circle of disrespect and growth. And I don't know, I'm not saying that other cultures or other races don't have their levels of fucked up things. I can only talk on what I see with ours. But I'm just so disappointed. And it's almost like, in my case, I feel like I'm punished almost for not doing shit the way everybody else does it, because I don't make the type of decisions that they're used to. Like, I had an ex tell me, this is a good while after we broke up, but he was just like, you're too perfect. And I was just like, and what does that mean? What does that mean? Because I'm not. We argue about how I'm not all the time. And he was like, yeah, in that regard. But he was talking more along the lines of, well, I know Leah's not going to cheat. And I was like, and this is a problem for you. You get what I'm saying? Like, I know Leah is not out here entertaining mad dudes, and this is an issue for you. You get what I'm saying? Like, what do you want me to do? It's almost like you want a fucked up situation. You want it to be, you know, a terrible thing. So I saw a shirt yesterday that I was going to buy, and I didn't buy it, but I'm going to buy it. And this is an unfortunate truth, but I want it to be a narrative that we keep. It said, Black women deserve love that did not require hurt first. Like, you know, that did not require them having to go through hell first before they find a good guy. And so that's what it comes down to. I know so many stories of Black couples that are perfect now, and they go to church all the time, and they got, you know, whatever. But it started off with him dragging her through the mud for 13 years. Yes, years, until
I ain't on that.
He found God or whatever. And then I even know another couple where they're divorced now, but she dealt with his shit for years. Years upon years upon years of being ready to fight somebody every other day because of the shit he was doing. And for you to look this woman in her eyes every day and tell her that you love her and do the type of things that you do. It's just sad. Like, come on, Black man. Like, do better than that. And that's the point. There's no sense of, this is a Black woman and she is a queen. I need to make sure she's taken care of. And he's a Black man and he's a king. And I need to make sure he's taken care of. I don't think enough of, at least our generation, that's all I can talk. I don't think enough of us have that. And the unfortunate part is so much disrespect and shit gets flown around, and then we turn into this. There's a whole bunch of broken families.
Right.
Shit don't add up.
So my thing is, because families have been broken since day one, right? So like if I have a broken family, I'm coming from a broken situation, I can't, what am I going to do? I'm just going to be broke, right? Like all I've seen is my mom run through niggas. All I saw is my dad lie to my mom and cheat on my mom and basically lie to me and leave the family, blah, blah, blah. Like, if that's all I'm seeing, what do you think I'm going to perpetuate? What do you think I'm going to give back to whatever relationship I'm in? And this is not an excuse. This is not an excuse at all. this is the reality of why therapy exists.
Right.
You got to go to therapy because there are things that are happening in your family that are affecting you. You don't know it, right? So nobody wants to point the fingers at their mom. Nobody wants to point the fingers at their dad. But nobody's also taking responsibility of the piss poor way that they treat people when they're in relationships. Right. Like
they make up excuses for it.
Yeah,
and they make up excuses for the fucked up decisions.
Right. I was just having a conversation with my boyfriend the other day. I was just like, I don't want to be jealous when other girls call your phone. I don't want to. I don't want to feel that. I want to be secure and okay that you're speaking to a woman and not think that it's anything more. But how many of us are okay with that notion, right? Mm-hmm. So I've been in unhealthy relationships. Like I've been through some things. Right, like I've even done some things, so like I'm damn sure not perfect.
Probably like right.
Yeah, like I'm not perfect at all, you know. But I know the basis of respect, and I know the boundaries that I'm not crossing. And once again, I have done some things, so I'm not perfect. So I need to reiterate that because this sounds easy, you know what I'm saying? But there are things that you do that some people don't do. You and I had a conversation about that. Well, Micah, you didn't do this, but I damn sure want to do that if you did it. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be very real with each other about the things that we're doing, but also be with ourselves.
That's the most important part.
How far we're willing to go.
Yeah.
I'm not perfect at all, but there's certain things I don't want to feel based off of the relationships I've been in. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be jealous when somebody calls his phone. I want the luxury of feeling light when I hear a woman's voice. Like, why is that such a thing?
So you are.
I recognize it. I definitely recognize it. And we even talked about the conversation 2 months ago. No, even longer ago. I was like, I don't want.
Is it the time? Like, did she call?
No, it was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Didn't even matter. Okay. So it could be a territorial thing. I know a lot of men go through that, but I know a lot of women go through jealousy because it's another woman, and you think that whatever. But if I feel like my dude ain't going nowhere, then I should not feel that. So and the fact that I feel that, that means that's coming and stemming from some other place, and that's why I say I've had unhealthy relationships. I've been, you know what I'm saying, like. Her nigga has trolled me. He has told me you can't have friends on Facebook that are men. You can't. Oh my God! I've been through some traumatic things.
I dated the asshole again like 4 years ago for that month that we were talking. Remember?
Yeah.
He literally was like, he wanted me to go through my Facebook list and delete all the men.
But I did.
At one point, I had the max amount of friends you can have on Facebook. Remember I told you I kept getting like $200-300 friend requests for 300 friend requests a day.
Right.
And it was like, I don't know what's going on. And this nigga wanted me to go delete everybody. Yeah. Every man on there.
And I did it.
I told him that's impossible. Because he was like, guys were DMing me and they were just saying things to me. And I'm like, I'm pretty. Like, what the fuck?
But that goes back to what I think socialization comes in, and the sociology major in me comes out. We have been trained to think a certain way about relationships. We have been trained to think a certain way about men and women being friends. Mm-hmm. I think the notion of men and women being friends came from a man. I think women can make anything work
because we're amazing.
You know what I'm saying? And this is not me being a feminist, because by the way, black women should not be feminists, sis. That wasn't even our ride. That wasn't even our train to ride, bro. We was going for social and political civil rights. Like, I would like to drink at this nigga's fountain. So jumping on the feminist bandwagon because they said you are a woman and you should know, sis, get off the feminist wagon. I would never wear anything that says feminist. I'm sorry.
I know some black women that say they are feminists, but I don't know the full.
They shouldn't be.
Whatever of what it is to say I am or not. I like women, and I'm gonna root for us all the time.
No, because they took away from the civil rights, and so did the homosexual thing. They all jumped in when black people was like, "We want rights." I was like, "Well, we do too." It took too much away from it. But my thing is, we've been trained to think a certain way about the way that men and women are friends. That's just the way it is, right? So when you're in a relationship, you automatically assume all your other friends from the past disappear. They just don't exist anymore. And that's not realistic. I watched my mom and my dad have friends, right? But they all knew each other. Did they all hang out at the same time? No.
Not all the time.
No. My mom went to lunch a couple of times with her colleague, Tom, who's a white man. He's definitely not interested in Tom. But my dad also had had conferences and in meetings that my mom knew about, and she knew the woman that he was going with. Now, do I think anything was happening in these situations? I don't know. I wasn't there. But what I do know is my mom and my dad had a different relationship when it came to trust and when it came to the opposite sex. That's just what it is. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I told my boyfriend I want to redefine the way that we do things. I don't want to feel this way. I personally don't think I don't like feeling like that. I don't like feeling untrustworthy. If I trust you, I trust you.
Right.
But we always say, no, it's not you. It's the person that's talking to you that I don't trust.
So as an avid, I used to go through a nigga phone in a second, whatever. Mm-hmm. I did it when I got like that feeling that something wasn't right. Definitely. But for the most part, when I'm in a good place, I don't mind. Now I'm weary of stray friends, like, where this bitch coming from? Like when Manny used to be like, oh, she my homegirl. Manny, I've been with you for 10 years, nigga. Who is she? And how come I never met her? Right? Mm-hmm. And then even with the guy I was just dating, because I've known him since we were in high school. And he says, oh, she been my friend since high school. I've been your friend since high school. Right. And I ain't never seen her. So it is. So with that, I just need like a valid explanation of what that might be. But
see, that's my thing. So
if you have no, like, you don't have weird cheating past with Willie and
you're right,
like
but
so yours is something.
But I have the past in general.
Yes, that's true.
So because, and I told him I was like, I'm working through past things that I've trauma that I've been through in relationships. At this point, right? And so if I was always hassled to why I was talking to such and such, if he was always in my phone, if he was always asking me why and whatever, like. Now I'm heightened about being asking where I'm at. Yeah. Don't ask me that. Like now, like a dude tried to talk to me. He's like, why you ain't answer the phone? I told him specifically, I don't answer questions like that. So please refrain from asking me that.
Queen.
I've said that too many times though, Leah, like because it takes me back to a place I don't want to be.
Place that we don't.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So the moment somebody asks me why I didn't do something when I was something, next question.
That's
I automatically give an attitude.
Yeah.
I don't ask you what you got going. Even my boyfriend now, we don't question each other, and that's natural because it's a possibility I was taking a shit.
Maybe it was just.
It's a possibility I was helping my mom. It's a possibility that my phone was charging. I was in the kitchen cooking. It's a possibility I was sitting there and my phone didn't ring. Though all those things actually happen. Mm. So for me to accuse you
of cheating on me with a
infidelity or doing something you ain't got no business,
constipated.
I just think that's really unfair. And I try to stray away from unfair situations because there are possible things that could have happened. So I'm not going to question you like something is wrong. Like, I want us to get away from questioning because we have an assumption.
Right.
A negative assumption, right? Mm-hmm. I'm never going to ask those type of questions. But I also think the way we were trained to think about relationships in this generation is unhealthy. So I would like to unpack those feelings. And I told him today, I was like, you ain't do nothing to make me feel suspect. Now, there was at one time. But I said it.
I mean, because what else can you do?
I felt it. And he had a moment where he questioned me about something. And we were able to get through whatever that was, but it was very minute.
That's a good unfortunate truth. The whole speaking to your partner about whatever you have a problem with. Mm-hmm. Because I had that happen a lot in my last situation where I would tell him things that bothered me. And because he felt like they were trivial, he gave me a lot of lip. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, I lit his ass back up, but he told me, like, in his last relationship, he was me. He used to drive himself crazy. And she used to constantly tell him, oh, like, you tripping or you doing too much. And I said, the point is you're not with her anymore. And so take that. This is part of the reason why you're not with her anymore. There's no reason that you should go to her about something that makes you uncomfortable regarding another man. Exactly. And she tells you tripping, suck it up and get over it. Like, that's ridiculous as fuck to me. And one of the instances where some girl that he calls his best friend, which I was just like, from where?
How?
I've known you since you were 17. How is she your best friend? I ain't never met her. I know all your best friends. So anyway, she came on his pictures and she was putting like mad hard eyes or whatever. And he liked it. I was like, I don't like this. Cut that shit out. And he was like, we're friends. I was like, I got CJ. I got Cordero. You know, whatever. I don't put hard eyes on that shit. You get what I'm saying? Like, I call Cordero my cousin. I call Cordero my cousin just on the strength of, if the girl, because I knew he was talking to somebody, if she sees me comment on it, the first thing she's probably going to do is click my page and go to it. Mm-hmm. You go on my picture, all you see is ass and titties. Oh my gosh, look at her. Then it's a problem for Cordero. So why make things more complicated? I was like, you and this bitch is trying it. So keep it up. Keep it up. You're going to get cussed out. So to me, that's an unfortunate fact. If your partner can't come to you and tell you when they have a concern, you're a bad partner. Your job is to make sure I'm okay. My job is to make sure you're okay. If you cannot do this, then what are we doing here?
Right.
That's an unfortunate truth.
What's the point?
What's the point of that?
If I can't come to you about everything, if I can't express myself the way that I feel that I should, why am I with you? You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, I even talked about being aggravated. And I feel like I'm aggravated to a certain degree. Yeah. Because I always got something to say. And it's not naggy. I just want what I want. And I think everybody is entitled. In every relationship you in, you need to lay down those stipulations. Whatever you want is what you want, and it's not unreasonable.
No, it's not.
Period. So if I'm trying to reconstruct the way that we do a relationship, I have to first recognize those things that I've gone through and those traumas that have led me to believe and feel how I feel
this way.
So because I've had an untrustworthy past,
oh my gosh,
I'm gonna need us to try to figure out how to get me out of that.
Right.
Because I don't want to think about what you're doing and where you're going. I'm not gonna question you. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let something fester. I'm gonna let something happen, and then I'm gonna respond. You know what I'm saying? Like I allow like feedback animals. I'm an eagle.
Oh my god.
So
what? Wait. What?
It's a feedback animal. You should take the test. City year, maybe do it. So if you guys have never heard of like a feedback animal is how you receive feedback.
Oh my god.
So the way that I receive feedback is like an eagle, right? Eagles scope out the territory. You know, they see what fish is available. Okay, mark that. They mark that. They mark that. Then they swoop back around and then they collect the fish.
Okay.
So the way that I receive feedback, I give you instance after instance after instance to do the same offense before I say anything, because it could be me the first time. Oh, you know what? They overtalked me when I was talking. I'm gonna let that slide. 2 weeks from now, they did it again. 4 weeks from now, they did it again. I'm like, damn. So it's time to swoop in. So I've noticed that on this date, and this date, you did
this, right?
So now, because I don't want to be crazy and I don't want to be, I don't want to be out of line, and I don't want to be like over exaggerating, right?
Yeah,
like, I want to
be. You take things too far.
Completely like right with the way that I feel. So I just honestly feel like the best way to do things is to get enough evidence to support it.
I agree.
And so until that happens, and until he makes me feel away 3 times, I'm not going to say nothing. But I'm going to remember how I felt when it happened.
I don't know if I could last.
But depending on what, but Leah, it could be little. So my thing is little stuff.
True, because you want to make sure it's not true.
Right.
And then we overthink.
And like we're untrusting people to a certain extent. So it's like, okay, we in the car. The phone rang. He jumped. Why? So I'm going to notice that, but I'm not going to say nothing right then. Right?
Be like, no.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So next time his phone rings, he looks at it. He presses the silence and then he turns it down. I'm like,
I'm going to ask, who's that?
But my thing is, I need one more time.
Because that's weird.
It is
the
weird.
Jumping is one thing, but if it rings, you look at it and click the button, put it down to the side.
It could be telemarketers because I owe people money.
Just say it.
I hear you, but me saying it may provoke a problem that I'm not ready to face at that point in time.
Understood. And you know how I handle myself. My thing is I treat others the way I want to be treated.
Right.
So I wouldn't mind if my phone rang at a certain time we drive
and somebody asks you,
press it and put it aside.
Right.
Who's that? Oh, it's my mama or whatever. I'm not gonna be like, damn, bitch.
Right.
Like I'm not gonna.
Right. So you act accordingly because of the way that you govern yourself.
Yeah.
But I like to give people
Yeah, I get you.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm here for it.
Trying to help you out.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
So until it happens again where it's alarming, then I say, well, all right.
All right, babe, we gotta talk.
This time you did this, and then this time you did that, and now you're doing this. Like,
but do you ever get?
But do you
with that approach? Do you get the whole? Well, damn, you've been thinking about this shit for 6 months now. Why didn't you say something to me? Like the first time he did it was in February, and he didn't do it again until April, and then he did it in June.
It's like, easy to combat that because I don't want to overreact.
I was trying to wait. Yeah.
I don't want to think the worst of you. That's where I'm at. I would never want to think the worst of you. I would want to think the best of you. I would always want someone to think the best of me.
Right.
I don't want somebody to come for me just because you think I'm doing something messed up. Like, I want you to think the best of me.
Well, I'm with you where it's like, shout out to you for thinking that. I never, possibly, but not as quick as you did. Just like, man, am I annoying? Am I doing too much now? Because everything that comes up is the problem. But how I think about it is, if you're doing something that gets on my fucking nerves, if I don't tell you that you're getting on my fucking nerves, guess what? You won't know. Doing? You're going to keep getting on my fucking nerves.
I get it.
So I feel like I'm going to have to tell him what's getting on my nerves. True. And hopefully he's open enough to hear his woman's concern. And we move on from there.
Right.
I ask for it, like within all my relationships. True. If I do something that makes you feel away,
please let me know.
And it's so much that you'd really be affected, you know, or it'll change you or whatever. Then tell me that it bothers you. And people just get brand new out of nowhere. I don't know how to handle that shit. And it's usually because they have tension or built up whatever from some shit that happened 3-4 months ago,
right?
And didn't say anything. Me and my ex used to get into, like, he would be quiet. He never complained about anything. And then I don't know. I wouldn't. It's not as trivial as me sneezing the wrong way, but literally, I'd probably do something that bothers him, or I'll complain about something else, and then he would just blow up on me, and I'm like,
yeah.
Where the fuck did all this come from?
I get that, and so my thing is, you can gauge it based off of, how you feel about whatever happened.
What the situation is,
right? You gauge it based off whatever the situation is. So the levity of it should also contribute to how you snap. So my thing is, if I left the toilet up all week, now you pissed off because it's been 5 days and your ass keep doing it. You get what I'm trying to say? Based on every time your phone rings, you flip it over. Like, I think those are two separate instances that evoke two separate emotions.
Listen to this, Beth. This is from my friend Jody. Shout out to Jody. Jody said, but you already, this is for you, giving it a couple times or whatever before you address it. She was like, but you already thought the worst of him by allowing him to get away with it the first 3 times before without addressing it. After the first time when your emotions were hurt, you should have addressed it right then and there. We can't talk about how black men do this and that and the third without first looking at what we're doing or not doing as black women to perpetuate this. Okay, yeah. So Jody's a friend. We used to work together. And she's married now. She has twins.
My thing is, thinking the worst and thinking in general are in the same category. Okay. I can think all plausible reasons to why he did whatever he did. Right. I'm choosing to believe it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Right? But because you're conscious and because you're past, you've been through so many things. So many different dudes have done so many horrible things to you. So, of course, the negative is going to show up in some way. Yeah. But my thing is, let me just think that it's me before I think it's him. So I'm going to think every possible thing. And I hear what she's saying, definitely. But this is the way that I respond to feedback. You know what I'm saying? You're not letting anyone off the hook by giving them a chance.
Right.
Because think about all the women who are cheated on. And they give a chance after he actually did whatever he did. So think about the dudes I'm dealing with. These things may not be doing nothing. Yeah. But because I'm thinking they're doing something, it's like, okay, you know what? Let me give you the benefit of the doubt. Unless it's blatant. Blatant
unless
things,
it's like some obvious.
Like you went to the mall and saw him holding a hand with a girl. Okay.
No.
Damn. But something that you can infer.
Yeah.
I don't answer my phone maybe 30% of the time because Sally Mae is after me, sis. I got like hella loans to pay back. I only got $10,000 left in loans.
Good job.
Which is amazing. Because thank you, City Year. That grant that they gave me helped a whole lot. But I get telemarketers all the time. Do I flip my phone over? No. But my phone rings and I don't answer it. Yeah. Willie be right there. I be like, He don't ask me and I don't act weird. So those instances also include body language. They also include the way the person is responding. There are a lot of telltales, and you don't have to go negative every time. So I hear what she's saying, let them off the hook, but you only let those niggas off the hook when they actually do the offense. We don't know what the person is doing. This is a hint. This is investigative work. You don't pounce on the bitch until you know.
I'm telling you.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you really think about PIs, they have to take picture after picture after picture after picture. They have to pop up in certain scenes after work, before they actually convict the person. You are a liar and you are a cheater. You don't do that day one. You just don't. So I need evidence. I'm not going to hop on somebody immediately because I have a hunch. Now, because I have a hunch, I can follow through with that hunch. So I just feel like people have to do better with the way they do investigative work. Like, everything doesn't have to be like super, super negative.
So I can agree. I get both because I'm very.
No, yeah, I do.
I get both because, and I guess it's just like you said, it's circumstantial because I don't even, and this is I guess a flaw of mine because it didn't even cross my mind. Like, am I just being annoying as fuck because I keep whatever? But when something happens that bothers me, I'm vocal about it because, again, it hurt my feelings and I don't want you to hurt my feelings again. So let me help you, not piss me off, right? So, but at the same time, because I've had a few instances of jumping to conclusions or jumping the gun and being wrong. It's rare, but it happens.
It happens.
That's what makes
good
me
to respond, though.
That's what gets me where I can understand Micah's plight, where it's like, let's give it another second to see. Now, for things like that, is there, like, in the situation, the guy that I was just dating, I mentioned this like on the second episode or something like that, but there was instances I felt like for some reason he was keeping me a secret. Like, not necessarily because we'd go out to parties, all his friends knew me, things like that. But as vocal as he was on social media with things, he wasn't like that regarding me. He got a little better at it, I think, right before we stopped dealing, but whatever. That bothered me. So that was something that I let ride a little bit because I felt like, okay, maybe I'm thinking too deep. Maybe I'm tripping. Right. Because sometimes we do. Yeah, because maybe I am. And in that situation, I was able to do that. But in other situations, like the whole phone thing, if we're in the car and he doesn't, I just see him look at it and put it to the side because he answers his phone every single time it rings. For you to not do it this time, I'm concerned. And I would like to know what took place. And I'm going to fucking ask, who is that? And let them tell me, they're
but you're confrontational as well.
Oh yes, I'm with the shit. Like, I'm about that action. So it's like, it's none of my what?
Oh, I
know. And then it would have been a problem. But I would ask. And honestly, he's gonna say what he wants to say. He's either gonna tell me who was calling or not tell me who's calling, and then I have a decision to make based on either response.
Oh, I was a telemarketer.
So, okay. Cool.
So yeah, that's my thing. And I think another thing, it's always been like, I don't want to know until I know. Like, I have a really good, I don't want to know until I know. Like, I have a really good intuition about most things, and I rather be for certain, for sure, before I pounce, before I make a decision, before I get an attitude. And me and my boyfriend was talking about this the other day. Somebody called him, he was on the phone, I was aggravated, and I had to ask myself, bitch, why is you aggravated? Like, he's giving you no reason to be aggravated. So now I have to look at myself and ask, why are you aggravated when the opposite sex calls him? You should not be if you wholeheartedly trust him. So you need to unpack that. Like, that's a thing. So I feel like people are they're going into relationships, they're thinking about the way that they're handling who they are with now. And this person may be perfect and they may be far from perfect. They may be masking it. I dated a whole dude, and for the first 5 months, he was somebody else. Like, no, dead ass. And then when we got together, he turned into this cringy,
fucking weirdo,
just obsessive, clingy person. I'm like, who?
So on my live mic, I'm getting a lot of you're bottling stuff, or so one thing that Jody said, someone else said you're bottling stuff. One thing Jody said, she was like, is it a true hunch Or is it paranoia that he might be doing something because of behavior you've observed with your past exes?
That's exactly it.
But to be fair, then this is why, so you can decipher if it's a true hunch or paranoia. That's probably why she doesn't pounce on it.
That's right exactly
then and there. Right. Maybe I am tripping because of my ex did or whatever.
And you have to, because you know your partner, right?
And I think it's just the way you respond, because again, my hunches or my feelings, I'm going through your phone and I'm gonna tell you, like I did. I'm gonna go through your phone. What the fuck is this? And I haven't had to in a while, but again, I always say I'm not above it. I'm not above doing it. I don't even sneak and do it. And if I say, give me your phone, let me see, you say no, then okay,
you gotta be okay with that.
Yeah, it's
anybody
fine.
Who dates Leah,
but then
she has to see your phone, you better give it to her.
Yeah, and if you don't, then that's fine. But then we have something else to discuss, because that's just something else that we got to figure out. Because then what are you hiding it for? And I'm not with this whole it's privacy and it's whatever. No, we fuck.
But what if he say that?
If he does say that, I'm gonna say, so your phone is private, but like your mouth on my vagina is not something, you don't think that that's personal enough for me to see your phone if I ask? And then we'd have to have a conversation about that. I feel like if you got a lock on your phone that's that safe, then we might need to second guess what the fuck we're doing.
Well,
we're very personal with a lot of other things.
But you have hella things in your phone that may be confidential, as far as like bank accounts and numbers and things like that. And there's no telling, when you look at my phone, are you gonna just go to my text message? Are you gonna go to my images?
But think about who it is. If Willie saw your bank account information, would you be worried?
You don't. No. But that's what I'm saying. Like, people are super untrusting. And the moment they don't know, they don't know. Anybody can scam you. The people who rob you, people that know you.
So then what it all comes down to?
If he said that, I'm just saying. True. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's a fair
devil's
question.
advocate. If he goes that far, I don't know what you got going on.
Yeah, it is a fair question. But for me, it's kind of like, I'll never be able, just in regard to this little subtopic, whatever, I'll never be able to understand how my phone is so private and it's all this. Like, people literally have sex without protection. Like, if we're out here literally fucking raw, you're trying to tell me your phone is so sacred and private to you and my pussy isn't? Like, I need to understand. And so for me, you're never going to win that argument with me where this just means so much to me and I got to keep it to myself.
But remember,
the shit that we do in there, like that,
you're
me,
right.
If we're doing that
to you,
this shit, but that's what I'm saying. I would need to be with somebody who understands that.
Right. And then
so that's what it comes down to.
Okay, cool. Because that individual going to be like, it's not that deep for me.
Because
I trust you. I trust your vagina. But that's all I need.
How do you trust my vagina and you don't trust me seeing what's in your phone?
I can slide in
that with no sense.
But it could be it's a temporary feel. You can scam me for the rest of my life if you get any of my information. And I'm talking about the extremists. I'm not talking about the ordinary.
I can hear these. The thing is, you're giving me great examples.
Just for devil's advocate.
Great examples of what they would say.
I'm an advocate of privacy.
And all I would come down to is, like, if you every single thing. I mean, yeah, you're right. I could be a scammer. So I could be a scammer, and we in here fucking around. Like, what's happening? I can literally
and that would be on you.
And you're out here. You just take the pussy freely, and it's not a problem.
I know
but you're concerned about
many men.
It's very backwards.
But listen, y'all.
Very backwards.
It's a man thing. I know many men who will fall in some vagina without knowing anything. I've been tried numerous times on some. Oh, you ain't got one. It's cool. What? No. What? AIDS? No. Pregnancy? No. Not like
crabs.
I've crabs. Syphilis.
Crabs. Gonorrhea.
Like, I've been in moments where, yes, you would like to continue, but you don't even have a. No, we're not doing it.
But all that tells me is, if you don't have a condom when we're about to do it,
you fall into several
you just dive in vaginas all the time and don't even care.
Hey, that's it.
I can't. Oh, but anyway, so off the phone.
I have 3 people on live. I need to go get my I need to hold my tripod.
Okay. All right, I'm on 2 lives now, guys. I'm double dipping. What's up? I'm on Facebook and Instagram. Ooh, twerk, Micah. She's twerking, y'all. All right, so I guess I'll talk to you guys while Micah's using the bathroom. Yeah, so I would say, I understand what you're saying, Jody, where it's like Micah needs to say what she feels and, you know, whatever. And I'm very big on if something bothers me, I'm going to express myself and I'm going to say it. But again, because there have been times where I've jumped to conclusions or whatever and I've been incorrect, this makes me a little more cautious about what I ask. Now, to be fair, not that much more cautious, because still, if he does something to piss me off, I'm going to ask him what that means and why he did it. And if he answers, great. And if he doesn't, we have a problem. And Mike is correct. I am more confrontational than most. But But not on some just wanting it to be an argument, but just more so like we said. I don't understand how we're together, and I can't tell you that something bothers me. You know, I'm supposed to be your booski. You're supposed to really want to make sure I'm taken care of and etc. And if I'm with a nigga that doesn't get that, then I feel like this is where the relationship probably has to end. I don't know. Because think about all the things you then end up bottling up. Like someone said on here, if you end up bottling up all these feelings and emotions, you get resentment, then you get cussed out. Like I used to get cussed out by my ex, who never complained about anything. But then when something came up, this man would let my ass have it. And it's because I'm with the shits. I'm like, oh, he upset. So I'm listening now to hear, man, 2 years ago, you sneezed that one time. And I'm like, my nigga, what are we talking about expressing your feelings? Like, this is what I end up having to say to him. Because it's like, baby, we can't go on like this. If you're so traumatized by things that take place. And then, you know what you got to think about, too? In that situation, he was telling me that, like, I always have a problem. Like, Leah, you always got a problem. Something always wrong. And then it's like, you don't want to be that. No. You don't want to be that girl either. That just kind of always has an issue. So then what do? That was an unfortunate truth when it came to that part. At least that was a good little run.
But
the one might like.
Also, you have to understand when something is dire to be brought up and when something can be overlooked. Because I do not think every single last situation is something that should be brought up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think occurrences with the same thing, it's okay to happen. Occurrences. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I felt this way. I remember why I felt this way. If I feel this way again, say something. Because it could be you. I'm so big on self-assessing. That's why I don't accuse people off rip. Because I know me.
So that's a good unfortunate
And that's
truth.
what I'm saying. Like, an unfortunate truth is,
it could be you.
It could be you.
And please take that in every single way possible. This could be with your family, your partner, your friends. It could be you. I've had to ask myself that as someone who is single at this point. The last two guys I dated literally both told me that I want a fairy tale. And I was like, damn, bitch, do you want a fairy tale? I mean, I do like Aladdin a lot. So I was like, maybe I do want a fairy tale. Maybe I'm tripping. But these were guys that were not able to give me what I wanted. And I wasn't asking for anything crazy. With one, I asked if marriage was coming up because we were together for 6-7 years at the time and had a daughter. That was me wanting a fairy tale. We're not together anymore. And in the last situation, I wanted an actual relationship after a year of us dating. And he told me, he literally had said at one point, you just want a fairy tale. You expect things to go this way. I expect things to gradually progress.
All right.
I didn't think that was a fairy tale. But even still, in self-assessing, I have to ask myself, you know, Leah, is it you? You know, maybe you're the problem. I haven't necessarily been able to find out how. I'm not saying I can't present problems. I'm confrontational. So for one, there's that. If something bothers me, I'm going to drop it on his ass right then and there. So that's Leah, something.
Like, it can be something so unrelated to what their problem is. I don't think wanting what you want is your issue.
Right.
It could be your delivery. We've already talked about how your delivery can be.
A little harsh.
And so if it's harsh and this person is sensitive, then that could be the problem. Period. So if I'm sensitive and you keep delivering shit harsh, that's my problem with you in general. That's not my problem with making you happy. But that will stop me from making you happy.
Yeah.
Because you keep being harsh. Because I can't get over it. Or whatever the case is. So this could be a sense of them not saying what is minute. This could be them a sense saying that all of this stuff that I have built up about you, that's only one thing, which is I wish you would correct the way you talk to me. That can translate into like a bigger thing for them for whatever reason. Yeah. And it's simple. It really is. Like, on the grand scheme of things, you got everything together. You can help anybody out do anything. I can organize your life so that it's better. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't you want somebody like that?
Right.
So now you have to ask yourself the bigger question.
Yeah.
Am I tripping over small things?
Yeah.
And not relaying that message to my girl because it's so small. It's so small, she gonna think I'm a little bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, baby, you sensitive? Oh, toughen up. But sensitivity is a real thing. And I feel like people should be talked to the way they want to be talked to, regardless if it's too harsh or not harsh enough.
Well, that's where the self-assessing part comes in. So
they're not doing it.
I've self-assessed. Okay, Leah, your delivery. If someone came to you and delivered things the way you deliver it, would you be okay with that? And I would. I'd prefer that. I've had many instances of people not telling me what the fuck the problem is, because I don't come in and be like, damn bitch, you tripping, like that's some dumbass shit. Like, this is not my delivery. But at the same time, I get it. I intimidate people a little bit with how I come at them. I've been told that many times. So fine, but I want the realness of it. If I'm your best friend and I can't tell you something, if I'm your girlfriend and I can't tell, if you can't hear it from me, who the fuck do you want to hear it from? Would you rather me just throw you out into the wilderness and have you looking stupid? My ex used to hate that I corrected him all the time because his grammar was terrible, and I was just like, baby, what do you want me to do? I'm trying to help you. And at this point, I just let him sound ignorant.
But like, think about it. So people who don't want to be corrected, you have an insecurity about being wrong.
That's the unfortunate truth. Do better.
It's wrong. So the unfortunate truth is that you're wrong. You have, right? Yes. And you have to accept when you're wrong. And I had an issue with that for a very long time. I've gotten better. I ain't over it. But I've gotten better. Like, I have to, that's a self-assessment moment too. Because you just want to be right, and you want to be the best you all the time, and you can't be the best you all the time, and that's okay. So that's something that you also need to deal with. But on top of everything, them even accepting that this is the minute thing that's stopping me from giving this girl the world. It's minute, the way she talks to me. And I know a lot of people carry that as like heavyweight, but it's heavyweight because you're not constantly doing it. If they told you every time, watch your mouth, calm down, relax, you would be annoyed too, but you would fix it. If somebody keeps telling you to watch your mouth every time you get lit, like, what you gonna do?
Right,
baby.
Okay.
And then you're gonna try to
talking.
You know what I'm saying? So like, you can't help no.
The last guy did that. He was like, Leah, okay.
You can't help nobody for real if you don't tell them what's up. Right. So if I don't like the way you talking to me, I'm gonna have to say, hey, bro, you gonna tone it. I ain't gonna fight you, and I know what I just did made you seem like I was gonna fight you, but I'm not gonna fight you. But you need to tone that shit down. You know what I'm saying? So until you be the agitator, you got to be aggravating to a certain extent. That's the only way you're gonna get what you want. So I just feel like they did not persist in whatever it was that bothered them about you. Because if you can't figure it out, I have to believe it's minute. And if it's minute to us, it was probably big to them because they did not discuss it enough, and they did not bring it to your attention enough, and they didn't bring it to their own attention. Like, it could be small. Right. Everything could be small, but small things turn to large things when when they're unattended.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, and I get it. It was like, you know, it's so small you couldn't let it go. Yeah, you could let some shit go. Definitely. But I'm just saying, there's like 17 little things.
But it's big things you let go all the time. Right. And that's what I'm saying. And I said that to Jody. Like, okay, cool. I keep bringing this up. I keep accusing this nigga of cheating, and he not really cheating. But then when he cheats, I stay.
Okay, I get it.
You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like, you got to think about it on a grander scale. Like, I'm trying to be preventable, but I'm also trying to be cautious and trustworthy. Although I'm human. I'm going to feel and think these things because I've been through past trauma or whatever. But, sis, if he cheat, you going to stay. And if you going to stay, you going to stay because you know or because you asked. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You just want to.
You know what I'm saying? Or because you want to. And that's fine. I'm not, I'm not bashing anybody who says anybody who cheats. But I am thinking about people who are not assessing when they announce whatever. And Leah gave a perfect example. I was wrong a couple of times. And if you wrong a couple of times, that means maybe you need to change your approach a little bit. I'm like, okay, I was wrong that time. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to let it happen one more time, and that's it. It could be 2 for you. It could be 1.5. Just like a hunch that you have. And then you respond. All right, babe, because last night you blah, blah, blah. And it could be the day. It could be days in between.
And the reason why I feel like I call things on the spot when they happen is because I really hate that whole you did some shit 2 weeks ago and you didn't tell me about it, or and it bothered me, but I just let it go. But you didn't just let it go, because here we are now talking about it. Like, if it was let go, it wouldn't have been a discussion. But there's a thin line with that, because I also understand, all right, he did some small shit, I'm gonna just let it slide. Cause think about it like this. He put a wet towel on the bed. We just talked about the wet towel. Wet towel on the bed. I hate that shit too, but wet towel on the bed, and then I let it slide this time, and then the next day he does it again, and I let it slide again. It's like, it's true. It's small enough to not have to chew him out about it, but at the same time, it's like, if I don't remind him every time he does, he's gonna keep fucking doing it.
Right.
And then we're gonna have flies and shit, and nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. So, an unfortunate truth that I thought in the midst of this is that everything can't be forgiven. And that's something that I don't think a lot of people process. A lot of people have the mentality that they can just do whatever the fuck they want to do over and over and over and over again. Or one meme I saw that I really, really liked, it was just like, that's just the way I am. That shit's not going to work with everybody. There's no such thing as that's just the way you are. That's not okay.
Cut it out. You can always grow.
You can always grow. You can always change.
Improve.
No one's telling you to change if you don't want to change. But you need to understand that you'll fuck around and lose somebody if you can't make the necessary adjustments. And it's up to you. You either want to or you don't. So it is what it is, but I think it's important. An unfortunate truth is everything cannot be forgiven. Unfortunately, guys, I'm sorry, but I'm kind of talking to y'all when it comes to these type of things, because this is what I think about. I know so many situations where men have done despicable things to the women that they love, quote unquote, and then they just expect they didn't have babies on. I had a guy who had a baby on me. He's had babies on him, that cheated on him with like 66 women. I've also had that happen. And it's like
STDs.
Yeah, there's so many things. You give your woman an STD or something. Give her one that goes away or one that can't go away.
Everything can't
be forgiven. And so it turns to where you can do whatever you want to do. But what you cannot do is tell me how to respond to it. Right. So if you do some fucked up shit and I decide I'm done with you forever, well, then that just kind of is what it is. Everything is not a forgivable action. Everything isn't something that could just be let go. And I always applaud people who, say what they mean and mean what they say. Like, if I say, you cheat on me, I'm leaving you. I applaud people who literally get cheated on and leave, because it is hard to do. Like, I don't know, that was a debate that came up. Is it harder to leave or is it harder to stay? I feel like it's harder to leave.
It's hard for both.
I feel like it's harder to leave. Because you have to really just, because even staying, I get it, because you're staying and you're choosing to believe that they won't do this to you again or whatever. Not. You have I think it's harder to leave.
My thing is, when you stay, you have to deal with the unpacking of the ugliness that happened.
The why, the when, the how.
And now you're going to constantly question that person all the time. You're never going to trust them when they say what they're going to say. And they're going to get attitudes, and they're going to hate you for chastising them for some shit they actually did. Like it just seems so much heavier when people stay when they're cheated on. But like you said, it is admirable. It's admirable to leave. That's what it is. It's admirable to leave when you've been cheated on, because you've been betrayed. And they betrayed you with another person sexually, possibly.
Yeah.
And probably only sexually. So my thing is, if it's only sex, then
no, but what's
the deal?
I think it's a self-worth thing. If cheating is not a deal breaker for you, then it doesn't matter. But if cheating is a deal breaker for you,
but you stay too?
No, if cheating is a deal breaker for you and you
leave.
Yes. You do decide that you're leaving because I said what the fuck I said. I've never labeled it as a deal breaker for me in the past, but I've stayed, and I stayed for whatever reason. Like, I can't give you an exact one, but overall I wanted to. Now I see it as like, I can't see that being something that I tolerate, only because, for what?
It's the aftermath for me.
Is it who?
The aftermath for me.
Everything
that I have to deal with after the fact. Like, my mom, prime example, little caveat into my life. My mom and my dad was together for like 24 years, and then my dad did unfavorable things to my mother. We don't know to what extent, but it was unfavorable. And now you took 24 years of no worry and you changed it into worry. I literally have an extension of feeling like I have nothing to worry about for 24 years. And you change that in a night.
That's the worst.
That is too deep to be reconciled.
Yeah.
Right? So she had a divorce because she felt like she was that woman who was asking, where are you going? Where you been? Who you been with? That's never been her. And if it was you from day one, you ain't changed nothing. It changed her whole being. And that's what she couldn't deal with. Like, now I'm becoming a person that worries about where my husband goes. I've never been that woman. And now I'm her. Hate it. It's new.
I can understand that.
So for her, it was too heavy to bear.
Yeah.
24 years of no worry, and now I have to worry. Like, it's heavy. So they didn't last because my mom couldn't take it. Like, she literally couldn't take the mental capacity of it. And do we think my dad went to the furthest extent? No, I don't think he did.
It's nice.
But I do appreciate my mom for saying she was also part to play in why he did what he did. Does it justify what he did? Hell no. But everybody has a role to play when people step out of marriages.
That's self-assessing.
And that's self-assessing. And my mom is super good at that. She literally said, because he cheated on me, I'm not saying I didn't have a role to play. I checked out 5 years ago. That's what she said. She said, when he started doing things that I was not familiar with, that I didn't like, I buried myself in work. She said it. I wouldn't come home because I would be aggravated most of the time. She was a college professor at Nova Southeastern University, and she just dove in her students. And it was easy to do that because you don't have to deal with you get home at 10 o'clock. He sleep. I don't have to talk to you. So now it's been years of not talking. And people get lonely. And people need people. And men are so fucking... They can't be alone. And I'm sorry. Whatever man is listening...
They can't be alone.
I feel like he can't be alone.
Y'all can't be alone.
But I just think in general, it depends on the self-assessment. And it also depends on the situation. Like, if you're ready to move forward, if ready to just take responsibility for whatever is happening in your situation, that's your prerogative. If you want to stay, stay. If you want to leave, leave. And that's just kind of what it is. So why do I keep forgetting? Because it's the unpopular and untruthful.
Yeah, unfortunate truth.
The unfortunate truth is we rather deal with things than fix things. So I'm dealing with me being in a relationship that is messed up. But I'm not willing to fix it because it's too much to fix. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm dealing with you, I'm dealing with you. Like, we working through it, but what are we really solving? Right?
Nothing apparently.
I'm hella mad at you all the time.
Every day.
I'm always hyped every time you leave. I question you every time you go. And when you come back, where you been? Like, it's that constant thing that always happens. But where do they really go? Like, are the problems really solved?
Well, that's like the people we talk about who like smoke weed every time they have an issue,
right?
And then or drink. We'll give you both. They have an issue and they'll drink or smoke to not feel the brunt of the issue,
right?
And they're fine while they're intoxicated or high or whatever. And then when they get sober, the fucking problem is still there. Like, that was an issue that I had with two people I know. I used to tell them all the time, like, you smoking these 17 blunts today did not solve any of the issues that you have. And to me, that's a very that's an unfortunate truth. Or no, I saw this. I sent it to the podcast. This is a good one. Unpopular opinion. They think that people who smoke weed are addicted. It's an addiction, and no one wants to trigger it as that because no, you don't get sick and die from smoking weed every day. But it is. There's an argument there that people who smoke weed are like hard down addicts.
Yeah.
And I can kind of see that. Now, people who smoke weed, I've dated two people that smoke weed a lot. And their thing to me is like, okay, well, you drink? I say, yeah, I drink, but I don't have to. Like, I don't have to drink on my way to work. And I don't drink as soon as I get off work. Everybody I know that smokes weed, if they can smoke in the morning, they do. And they smoke on their way to work. Yeah. And as soon as they get in the car,
when they get up,
they smoke when they get out, and they'll probably do 2 or 3 before the night is over. So I was like, yes, while it is a healthier vice than alcohol consumption, it's still a vice. And so I don't know. I won't know if I'll go as far as call y'all addicts, but at the same time, if we're going based on what the definition is, you might be.
And
your shit might be.
And I guess it will be what is it? Not unpopular.
That's unpopular opinion. That's what I call that one.
So an unpopular opinion is that people who smoke weed are addicts.
Yeah, you're addicted to that shit.
and weed people will definitely like go down our throat when it comes to that.
Because I have a friend, so I've mentioned this before. I have a friend of mine that they drink from time to time, but they're like a social drinker, like they drink when they're going out or whatever. And their girlfriend, she smokes, and so he's just really not here for it. Like, I don't know, for him, it's like it's not very ladylike to be sitting there. Like, every weed person I know, they're always like this with their hand like cupped. Like, you know, in the front, and they're doing whatever this is. Mm-hmm. So he was just like, it's so unladylike to see, you know, her do that. And he kind of almost told her, like, I don't want you doing that type of stuff around me. Right. So I said, you got to be careful with that, because that's what she does. A lot of people I know that smoke weed, they say it helps relax them and anxiety and blah, blah, blah. And so his thing is like, okay, but you have to do that multiple times a day. Right. At what point do you accept that it's an addiction? I was like, true. But for the simple fact that we drink when we want to, like we're drinking now, when we drink because we want to, their vice is healthier than ours.
No, definitely.
Right? So I would say if that's what she does to keep staying from not cussing people out, then kind of let her do it. But I don't know. His point was really good. It's true. Is it not an addiction? And I was like, it has all the signs of one, especially when they have to do it. I know some people that are just grumpy as fuck until they smoke. And then when they smoke, they're like the nicest people. I'm not like that with liquor.
Me neither, though.
So, and alcoholics are probably, but we're not alcoholics. So, maybe you are addicted to the weed.
So my thing is, with addiction, I feel like addiction has a negative connotation, and the addiction behind alcoholism, we both had this conversation about how we feel like alcoholism isn't the problem. Alcoholism is a vice. Alcoholism is a solution. Oh, possible solution. They all saw me. Sorry. I'm fine. Is a possible solution. The real problem is you're not talking about what your problem is. And so you act out on alcohol. How many people do you know act out on weed? Just weed. Just weed alone. I know hella people who smoke weed.
They're super chill.
They don't act out. And they probably going through heavy shit. And we don't even know.
Yeah, they're
pretty
zen.
I know a guy who smoked weed from the morning to the nighttime.
That's right.
And I know he was going through shit because he talked to me about it before he got high.
That's nice.
So my thing is, you going through heavy shit. Your grandma just died. I'm sorry. Your mom ain't shit. Your dad ain't shit. What was you? You a fucking victim. I'm sorry to say it, but you're victimized in a certain degree when you start blaming everybody for your mishaps. But he did not act out when we was in public. He didn't get crazy. He didn't get loud. He didn't make everything about him when we was in public. And I had to say when we was in public because everything's about him otherwise. But I'm just saying, alcohol brings a certain level of immaturity out of people. A certain level of I don't give a F out of people. And I don't think weed does the same thing. But do think that you rather go through life on something? Yes, you're addicted.
Because that's what you
gotta feel something. You know what I'm saying?
That's what the post said. The post was like, it may be it is healthier than liquor and all that, but at the same time, you are constantly in a state, an altered state.
It's altered.
Yes.
It's not your reality.
Yes, it's not your reality.
You think differently.
You can't
breathe
be normal.
differently.
In
you
order
feel
to
differently.
Get through whatever, you have to be on this.
Right.
Now, while it's again, like I said, it's a vice. So it's healthier than liquor. But like when I had a long day at work, I will pour myself up a drink if need be.
Right.
If I find the time. Drinking to me is like, it's like a fun thing. So if I'm not in a fun mood, then I don't do it. I just go to sleep. So, because I'm like a social drinker. Like we drink for the podcast sometimes, unless Micah's going through a cleanse. This is her last one. So she's it's gonna be interesting. But anyway, yeah. So everybody I know that does that, it's like there is something to be said for the fact that it is somewhat of an addiction. Because while you don't act out, I don't know anybody who smokes weed that's just wild and out of control either. When they're high, they're pretty chill.
They're pretty chill.
They're pretty chill, and that is the case. But they
always
definitely
have to
smoke.
be high.
Yes, they smoke a lot, and they do it multiple times a day.
So because this is not detrimental to life, and nobody feels the results of you smoking weed, it's okay.
No,
that's what I'm thinking.
Well, but for me, in the person that
you
I was
feel
dating,
the results because
I
they're
feel the results
stale.
because not even that. The issue is that the two people that I were dating, they both had the same issue. They had problems. Like let's say the issue is
can't get to work on time. Whatever.
Fine, you can't get to work on time, right? There's a problem. Or something that you can solve. You need to come up with a plan to solve it. They don't come up with a plan to solve it. Instead, they smoke. So they'll smoke the weed and they'll be high and they'll be like, fuck that shit, I'll deal with it tomorrow. And then when they're unhigh, it's just like, oh my gosh, all your problems didn't magically get solved.
All right, Leah,
That's
I got something. Are those people naturally unproductive?
One of them wasn't.
Or because if they're proactive and not productive, I know a productive weed smoker.
Me too. But
I know a few productive weed smokers. And they smoke when they had a long day, but they smoke when they didn't have a long day.
They just smoke.
And they still get shit done. So my thing is, are we able to decipher between when somebody is addicted without proactive action? Or do we think about this person burying themselves as an addiction, right? So people use alcohol when they don't want to deal. But they drunk all day, they throw up, they show out, by the way. Show out on alcohol. Cuss, scream, cry, throw things, whatever. Like, alcohol is very aggressive when in the wrong hands and mouth. Throat. But esophagus. Larynx. But I'm saying, like, I know so many people that are productive on weed,
right,
and off weed.
So for the people I was talking about, one of them, I don't think they were very productive.
They weren't productive people.
No. So this is just kind of how they were. They were exactly what this was. They find ways to avoid dealing with the shit they got to deal with.
Okay.
The other person was very fucking productive. Always were. They were very ambitious. They always got stuff done. I think they got into somewhat of a stupor, if you will, and they just stayed there. Mm-hmm. And so for me, the weed wasn't helping. And I even said that to them on multiple occasions. I told them that shit whenever I was drunk, a week or so ago. Mm-hmm. And in the midst of us talking, I was just like, you need to try to smoke a little less and get back on doing the type of shit that you used to do. Now, one of the productive weed smokers, I know them too, and they are productive. But at the same time, we also know the fact that when they smoke, they drink, and they drink and smoke, and they smoke and drink, and they do this both. And we've expressed that.
True.
What?
We know too. Because I was thinking about another one.
Okay, well,
I didn't want to name drop.
Right. So the one of the ones that we're talking about, we know that they have a lot of shit going on, and we don't want them to do either one because we're exactly what we're saying. They're avoiding whatever things they need to work out by being high, and on top of that, we're gonna top that shit off with a few shots, and this is what they do. So in that case, they're exactly what the fuck we're talking about. It's you're productive when you're not, but you can't wait to get this shit done so you can go be high and drunk as fuck.
So people will argue that we drink too much, right?
That's fine.
They will argue that we drink too much, and every time we're together, we drink, and we go out, we drink, whatever.
Mom.
But I'm mad productive, and there was a point in time where both of us were, not necessarily going through things, but there were things bothering us that comes out when we drink.
Right.
What happened? Who said what?
No, Jody, I'll just read the first line. She said the anxiety comes from being unwilling to solve the issue, which stirs anxiety, which triggers the need to smoke weed, which is agreed. Yes, that is what it is. And so then that just shows, and I get it because there's something, I don't know, I plan for a living. So if a problem is like, ooh, some shit to solve, let's figure it out. I'm like that, so I get that. But yeah, agree, Jody, completely. I'm sorry, continue what you were saying.
Yeah, so I'm saying like people would
argue that we drink too much.
Exactly. So my thing is, what's happening when we are under the assumption of whatever we chose, whatever vice we chose.
The influence.
Things came harder when we were going through things, right? I'm not going to say that weed is a chosen one, but weed is a better mask. Because alcohol, that is ugly truth. Mm-hmm. It will come out. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what it is about weed that suppresses what it is. And I think it's how heavy you feel.
Well, all drugs are like different things, right? Like shrooms are like a hallucinogen. So what is weed? Like a suppressant or something? I don't know.
It's a depressant. So my thing is, it's not a stimulant. Liquor is a stimulant.
Okay, right.
Right.
So then
and weed would be the depressant. So my thing is, what are we? We rather tolerate someone who's going through whatever under weed versus alcohol because it's outward. Agreed. Like, you're gonna show me whatever is going on with you, because you and I both had our moments. For when I speak for myself, I was more aggressive at a certain point in time. I was more defensive. I was like on edge. I haven't been like that in a long time under the impression of alcohol. You know what I'm saying? So I realized what it was. I talked about it. I talked it out with the person that needed to hear it, and I'm fine. And I drank, and I'm happy. Yeah. And it's like, whatever, I'm loopy, whatever, it is what it is. But when there's an issue and alcohol is involved, it escalates. It comes out. Yeah. And we went on a trip recently, and I said, if anybody's going through anything school related, can we please talk about it before we get there? Because it will come out. It did. So my thing is, it was the last day, and it was okay, and we were perfectly fine with it because we were used to it. But my thing is, I would definitely ask these people who are using these vices, why are you using these vices? And you may know why, but still, like, you may want seek therapy. Well, we all come back down to that.
Because I'll say this. Let's just say there's two happy, lucky people. Everything's fine. They don't have any problems. One just likes to smoke and one just likes to drink. With either one, it's the amount. It's how often you do it. That which would be room or which are grounds for addiction or not, whatever. It's how much you do it, your consumption. So I find that people who smoke obviously do it a lot more than people who drink, unless they're an alcoholic. So this is where you guys do unfortunately get labeled with the whole addiction thing or whatever. I know people that smoke just because they like to do it. I do also know somebody who I think smokes because they got a lot of shit going on, but at the same time they're very productive. So they use it. Yeah, but they're very productive. Like they're out here killing a lot of shit. They just smoke. I know me too. And then I knew one of the guys I dated, he used to be very, very productive on it. I don't think he's as productive anymore, in my opinion, but I'm sure he'd beg to differ. So, okay. I'm just going based off what I saw. We were together every day. So I went based off that. But it's one of those things where if you have to use anything so much in order to just be a functioning person, then you got to kind of figure out what that might be. And that's an unpopular opinion. It's fine. We don't have to call it addiction if you don't want to, but it's something. You know what I mean? Like, I'll go as far as say maybe like I'm addicted to lotion. I have like 16 bottles of lotions everywhere. Okay. And I do. I have a lot of lotion everywhere. I have a lot of hand sanitizer because I have a child. And I just feel like, let me clean your hands real quick. So fine. But mine, it's not... When we drink when we go out. And yes, it could be argued that we drink a lot. But at the same time, I'm not doing it to cope with anything.
True.
So that's it. I had at one point in time when me and my daughter's father broke up, like our first or second, I think it was the first time. I was drinking a lot. I just started drinking too, which was so funny. So I was drinking a lot. I was drinking vodka, and I felt like I was very aggressive on vodka. And when he and I got back together, he kind of snapped on me. He was like, every time you drink, I'm out here damn near about to fight because you're making this complicated for me. And that was the last time, like back then. I used to get drunk back then, and I don't anymore. And it's hard for me to get drunk. I don't try to, but I'm just saying my tolerance is very high. And it was him telling me in my sober state how difficult I made things for him when I was under the influence so much that I was like, okay, time for a change. And that was 2015. So I don't have that problem anymore. And it took him telling me that. But when I was single, it was bad. Like, I would be a functioning mom or whatever. When it was really bad, I'd call Micah, Tarsha, or Paige. They all three would come over respective times. And I wasn't drinking, but I was just really emotional.
You were emotional.
Really sad, so I cried every 20 minutes. There was no liquor involved in that. But then after they left and Mia went to sleep, I would drink. And it'd be like, well, we're going to have 2 or 3 drinks. And back then, my tolerance was low. So 2 whatever, it's 1 whatever, vodka had my ass on the floor. But I caught it, and I was like, Leah, you're becoming a bit of a fucking alcoholic. No, we tone this down. A functioning alcoholic, but an alcoholic nonetheless.
But that's the thing.
And that's why
when you drink because there's a problem, that's the problem.
That was the problem, exactly.
When you smoke, when there's a problem,
that's the problem.
That's the problem. And regardless of if you have to be high all day or high only 3 hours out of the day or drunk only 3 hours a day, like, at the end of the day, you're doing something to cope with something, which makes it a bad thing. And it is bad. I'm not going to say it's not. It's bad. Like, it is what it is, you know? Like, I even had a conversation with my daughter, and I don't have any children, so infer. I said, every time you have a problem, you want to go drink. Mm-hmm. And she was like, well, I just don't want to think about it. I was like, when you're done being drunk, what's going to happen?
When you're done being drunk. Damn, Mom.
And so I had to say it like that because I honestly didn't expect her to be that person, whatever that person looks like. But I also wanted better. Like, I know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm an expressive person. Like, I go through things, whatever. I talk my shit out, but everybody ain't like me.
Right.
But I had to let her know that drinking ain't like you.
Right.
You think that's your answer? That's not been your answer before you were able to. That's
never really been
you just became the drinking age, my nigga. That ain't always been your thing to go through things. So think about it like that. I just turned 21. All of a sudden, I'm going to drink my problems away. What did you do before? You talked them out. You dealt with them, right?
So or was just emotional as fuck, crying all the time.
Damn right. So the cool thing about that is, my friends respect when we tell them the truth. To a certain degree. I mean, everybody has
they can respect it or not. You go get it from me.
But they still move accordingly, and they do change because they know it's not them. And so the great thing is we know each other enough to know what's us and what's not us. Mm-hmm. And I can tell what's not us and what's us. So the cool thing about our relationship is that we're pretty open with the way that we handle things and discuss things. So if you have a friend who calls you and every time they're going through something, girl, I need a drink, but they really mean it, it's a difference between just saying it and actually going to do it. Because I say, girl, I need some wine, blah, blah, blah. But the moment I talk about it, I don't go to Walgreens and get a bottle. I don't go to the liquor store and get a bottle. I talk it out and I feel better.
And I'm good.
And that's me. But you have to recognize when you're starting to use weed and drugs and alcohol,
any type of vice,
any type of it to get through your pain.
Because the ultimate unfortunate truth about that is you're avoiding your problems and you're using it as a crutch. You're using it as a crutch, and you're kind of crippling yourself from processing whatever the issue is. I'm not sure why people. I'm mindful of the fact that problems are ways to create solutions, and I feel good. I get like a high out of solving a problem. So, or I set a goal to accomplish and accomplishing it. Like nothing is better than that type of shit for me. So, in regards to that, I can understand where that's not the case for everybody, and some problems are just too much to handle. But I'm very big on, if you don't fix it, it's just never gonna fucking go away.
No,
so what else can you do? Like, right. if I understand the anxiety and the stress of it, but if you don't literally come up with a plan to fix it, it's gonna stay there. With the two people I mentioned, for one of his main issues that he had, the problem is still currently a problem. It's been fucking 7 years. It's still a problem that's just not touched. And I don't know if they've just decided. I don't know if the solution ended up being, fuck it, there is no solution. Because that's also a solution, guys. Right. A solution could be there is no solution. But at least you have that designated. It's tucked away now. You can let it go. And with the other person, I don't know what they're doing. But it's just like, the extension of that is I can't be with somebody who does shit like that. Because I plan everything and I solve problems. It's like if I have an issue, all I know how to help you do is get over it. If you don't want to get over it, I'm not about to sit here and be depressed as fuck and woe is me with you.
And it's sulk.
Yes, because my solution when I have a problem isn't to go drink 6 things of Rand Nephew and shake it off. Okay, I got an issue. The podcast microphones weren't working.
Fix it. Yeah.
So I can start the podcast. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Being with somebody, and like I had to literally say that to them. I was like, I don't know how to help you. I don't know how to be the best partner
I can be. And that is healthy to say.
Yeah, I don't know how to be the best partner I can be in a situation because the things that I use to solve my problems or the way I get over my issues is not your way. Now, I'm not saying a really heavy thing happens and you don't, maybe you got to smoke today because it's just heavy today. Mm-hmm. I get that. But then, I mean, by like day 3 or 4, we got to figure it out. You know what I mean?
Like I'm all for.
I don't know how to help people
go through their process. I had to learn it the hard way. personally, it was hard for me to deal with people not being able to tell me how they felt. I don't like that. I don't like that you can't just tell me what's up. Or when I ask you what's wrong, you just won't say it. Like, I used to have a serious problem with that, but that's me. That's a me problem. Micah, why do you have to be the person that they come to? Like, why do you have to be the person to crack the code of emotions? Like, get through your shit, bro. So when I got over having to hear and having to tell them when I ask, people have a process. People don't want to talk about things in a moment. Some people be arguing, it escalates. One person be like, I don't want to talk about this right now. Can I call you later? I had to be like, fine. Like, yes. That's hard to do. That's hard
for me too.
You gotta let people.
I don't like that shit.
I don't like it, but you gotta let people process. You know what I'm saying? So like, if somebody is mad upset,
I have to.
If somebody is mad upset, they can cuss you, slap out, say some horrible shit about your mom, and you'll never talk to them again.
I don't agree.
But they love you, right? But we've both been in relationships where people have loved us and said some horrible things that they regretted.
Fuck them.
So my thing is, I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna get off the phone because you asked me to. I'm gonna respect the way that you feel. And I'm going to go. And when you call me back, we'll be able to resolve this in a humanly manner, in a respectful manner, that you don't piss me off or say anything offensive to me. Because we all know how everybody's mouth is when they get mad. You snap, you say all type of shit. Like you black out, right? Like it depends on where you are. But mind you, we're mindful of what we say.
Yeah, like you can't be mad at me.
But no, babe, we can't gauge people off how we are.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm not gauging. But if I feel like if we get into an argument and you say some off the wall shit to me, you always felt that way.
No, definitely.
So that's why I can't fuck with you.
But that's truthful. That's truthful.
Right. Like you don't just come out of nowhere, Leah, you ugly as fuck. You look like
true. And we've been through hella situations to know that when people say the shit, I didn't say her in high school, but one of her best friends was going off the wall, and me and Leah weren't even close yet. Like, I just met this bitch, and it was like 2 months. But I liked her a lot, and I was just
I was a nice girl.
I just felt like what was happening was just not okay.
Shout out to Coach Spence. Coach Spence was like, man, y'all friends. Cut that out.
And I literally, I got in front of her. The best friend at the time was coming at Leah at a way that I felt like was really aggressive.
She's coming for me, y'all.
And she said some things that I felt like she shouldn't be saying in front of all of us.
But she did go off.
But I got in front of Leah. I was like, bro, that's not like, just relax, like chill. And I was literally standing in front of Leah with my big ass, like my arms stretched out. Leah's behind me, and I'm like, what's not gonna happen is this shit. I don't know what you got going on, I don't know what you on. She was on 12. And people always escalate when someone else holds them back.
Yes.
So someone held her back and she escalated. I'm like, bruh, I ain't never fought nobody, but this ain't what you want, sis. I will drop your ass. Like, no. To this day, I still have never fought anyone physically, but I'm a big girl. And
she is a big girl.
And
people don't bother Micah like that.
No one has ever bothered me, but that's just not okay.
That's
and
not
I feel
okay.
Like
I'm not team.
What you're saying,
I was mad, so I just said this. No.
Yeah, but they say things that are truthful. And my thing is, you can get the truth out of somebody that you've always been wanting when you get upset. And it's not the timing. The timing fucking
timing
sucks.
Is wrong because your delivery is a little harsh.
That's what I'm saying. Your delivery is harsh.
Terrible.
Sometimes it's weak. Because it's like, oh, that was a low blow. Because you literally could have just said this, blah, blah, blah. But you chose right now to bring it up because it brings the heat off of you. So now people are justifying their actions through what you did to them 2 weeks ago or 2 months ago or a year ago. You know what I'm saying? And that shit we can't respect. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, whenever you're getting into things with people, I think it's just okay to be respectful. Talk about the issue at hand. And if it's on you, let the heat be on you. Don't deflect. Don't go back to what they did to you a month ago that resembled what happened. Because if it mattered that much to you, you would have said it then. Apparently, it didn't matter that much to you, or you're an eagle like me.
Oh my gosh!
And you chose.
I need to find out what animal I am because you talking about this eagle is hilarious.
It's a bear. It's a cat. Cats only take feedback from people that they feel they respect. So if you're not credible, I'm not taking it from you. I think you would be a cat.
No, I take a opinions. One thing I don't do well with, I agree. I don't do well with parenting advice from
you're a cat.
Yeah, I don't do a parenting
You're a cat.
Advice.
Think about it. You don't
from anybody almost though.
But you don't.
Even good parents.
If you're not a parent, I'm not taking anything you say as face value. And I'm not saying that's not wrong.
I can deal with an opinion. What I can't handle is you telling me what I need to do. That's where we're going to have a problem. Like,
because you don't know. You don't live the day to day.
You don't know nothing about me and my goddamn baby. Let me tell me what we need to do. I'd deliver it in a, this is my opinion, or maybe you should try this type of way.
It's wording.
Best. Yeah, it's
wording. Wording is everything.
Telling me what me and Mia need to do. No, I'd never tell a woman what the fuck to do with her kid. Unless she's making poor decisions. Then I'm going to tell this bitch to cut it out.
You're a definite cat.
I could be a bear. What bears do?
And it's a hedgehog too. So the feedback animal that bears, when they receive feedback from other people, they don't listen in the moment. So I'm going hard, but no, I'm going hard at you. I'm telling you what I don't like. I'm telling what you do, blah, blah, blah. But what you do is you assess in the background. Bears hibernate.
It sound like all the guys I did.
But listen, bears hibernate, right? So I need to think about everything that you said, and I'm trying to think about every instance that you said and when I did what I did. I'm trying to find validity in what you said about me because I don't believe it when you're telling me. It's hard for me to take it when you're talking to me.
Maybe I'm a cat.
But when I assess, okay, I can see how that worked. And when I'm ready to talk, I come to you and I tell you, you was right. And you did this, and I did this, and I wasn't shit for this. That's a bear. Bears hibernate on their thoughts. Boom.
The hedgehog.
So hedgehogs are complete pussies. So what hedgehogs do, they victimize themselves. Like automatically it's just like, oh my God, woe is me. I'm sorry I hurt you. Did I really do that? Did I really do that? Like it's hard to believe that they hurt you, right? So hedgehogs hide. They hover. They curl in their feelings. They're not expressive. They shut down, right? And they may never resurface what happened when they felt emotionally distraught. That's a hedgehog. And then you have the rabbit.
What the fuck? Okay.
It's only like 5 animals. So it's like I feel like you named the cat. It's a rabbit, the cat, the bear, the hedgehog, and the eagle. It's only 5 animals that I know of. And I think they're the only legitimate animals.
So the zebra ain't shit then.
But no, zebra ain't shit. And the lion ain't shit. But lions are like, they fall in the cat category.
Yeah, because you said I'm a cat, I'm going to come.
But remember, it's giving and receiving. This is the receiving feedback. It's 2 different animal
kingdoms.
Exactly. So this is receiving feedback. Giving feedback can be a whole other animal.
Okay.
So the last one is the rabbit, and the rabbit is smart. You know, they assess the situation before they pounce, and they're very quick with their responses.
What are you again? The eagle.
I'm an eagle. I take instances and I put them in my little pouch, take them to my nest, figure it out, and then fly back out when I'm ready for the fish I want. But yeah, and you can be a mix between eagle and cat. I think you're a cat.
Well,
my aunt is definitely a cat.
So be it.
They only respect and receive things from people that they think are credible.
I can see that.
I definitely see that for you. Yeah, and it's just like, you receive information from me because of what you know about my past, about relationships, right? You would not receive the same information for such and such because their track record ain't that hot. You know what I'm saying?
Like such and such, you don't know shit.
And you be like, but you would listen
for sure.
And you, yeah,
I would listen.
And cats listen. Cats are aware. Cats are their feelings are organized. But following through, they be like, they got off the phone with you. They call a credible person to get some type of information from they can take. So you're a cat.
Hilarious. Please find your
feedback animal.
Your feedback animal, everyone. I'm a cat.
And I'm an eagle.
Mike is an eagle.
But it's an actual test, y'all. Like, take the test.
I'm going to take the test.
How you receive feedback. Because I know it's like jokey joke. Okay, it's an animal, whatever. No. But the characteristics of that animal, that species, whatever, it will define how you receive. So the moment you know how you receive feedback, you can tell your partner, I need you to tell me like this. I need you to let me know like this. I need you to talk to me like this, because this is the way that I respond, and that will help your relationship at the end.
It's a beautiful thing.
Friends and boyfriends or girlfriends. That's what you like.
That's what you like.
Who is it?
Okay. Well, there you go. I guess I'm a cat then. Every time I say I'm a cat, I think of that I'm a cow song. I'm a cow. Is it a girl that had on like a cow outfit? Or was it a cow?
It's very weird.
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird for sure.
Right.
Yeah, well, this episode's been about unfortunate truths. I feel like there's so many more, but
we hit enough.
We hit quite a few. But share some unfortunate truths that you guys, see.
And another thing, just make sure whatever you're feeling, it comes from a place of understanding. Like we talked about that earlier. Like when you seek to understand, you seek to be open to the way that other people feel. You may not agree with it, but when you understand where they're coming from, it's easier for you to regurgitate information. Like that's all it is. Just seek to understand before all else. Do not be defensive. Defensive is the first thing that we do when we hear something that does not agree with ourselves, which is defense.
And what I say about that is, if you are getting defensive, then a part of you feels like it's true.
Yeah. And if it is, figure it out.
Yes, because you got to think about it logically. Again, I use the example all the time. Somebody walks up to me and says, Leah, you're a hoe. I wouldn't get defensive because I don't agree at all.
Okay, right, because it's not my truth.
Yeah, it's not my truth. It's nothing. Whatever. Maybe you feel that way, but I don't.
Right.
So it wouldn't offend me, but something that I would be offended by, then it would. I can feel the defense mechanisms popping off because I agree.
So just be true to yourself and stick to what you believe in, and don't let anybody sway you to believe any other way. This was These uns have been messing me up.
I believe in you. Finish strong. This is what? Unpopular opinion and unfortunate
popular opinions and unfortunate truths. Unpopular opinion was the one that we just did, but it's just the that's just really messing me up, y'all. All episode, you're gonna see it, and I don't care because I'm imperfect, and that's cool.
And that's her truth. She's having a hard time with the
self-assessed. I was wrong sometimes, and
it's rare, but it happens.
Rare, but it
happens. So thank you guys so much for listening. We hope you have a wonderful night. Thank you.